Nan Gong Yuanwu, you old thing, such audacity. A chilling voice descended from the sky, echoing throughout the city. Above in the sky, Lu Qing looked down, his eyes filled with murderous intent, his face twisted with fury. At this moment, others might not see it, but high above, he saw it clearly. Among the rubble outside the city below, Uncle Kai and the steward were lying on a piece of broken wall, unconscious, their breath faint. Lu Qing hadn't expected that he was originally holding the winning hand, fully controlling the situation. In the blink of an eye, the situation reversed. Not only were Uncle Kai and the steward, both at the primordial spirit realm, seriously injured now, completely losing combat ability. Even the primordial spirit fragment of the ancestor had exhausted its power, protecting him, and dissipated entirely. Thinking about that extremely terrifying surge of power just now, Lu Qing couldn't help but shiver with fear. If it weren't for the ancestor's fragment, even if he had other protective Dharma treasures, he wouldn't have survived such an explosion of power. Thinking of this, the murderous intent in Lu Qing's heart intensified. His gaze toward Kanglan City's direction was terrifying beyond measure. This time, his loss was too devastating. Not only had he lost his only guardian jade talisman, but even the two protectors sent by his clan, their lives were uncertain. Even if they could survive, he didn't know if they would be ruined. With such heavy losses, competing with other direct lineage disciples in the future would become much more difficult. Competition in the clan has always been cruel. Once he falls behind, the resources assigned to him by the clan will certainly decrease significantly, which he absolutely can't tolerate. And all of this is because of that old scoundrel Nan Gong Yuanwu. Nan Gong Yuanwu, I originally just wanted to capture you and bring you back for punishment, but now I've changed my mind. I want to grind you to dust, extract your primordial spirit, and forge it into a lamp for 100-year burn. I want to leave you neither in life nor in death. And for all of you treasure tower demons, you must all die. At this moment, Lu Qing disregarded everything else, only wanting to immediately slay the Kanglan City Lord and Treasure Tower Master, extract their divine souls for torment. Only then could he slightly relieve the hatred in his heart. Burning with murderous intent, Lu Qing didn't even think about healing Uncle Kai and the steward first but flew straight down, diving toward the Treasure Tower location. A terrifying aura surged around him, like a king, making everyone's heart and spirit tremble. As he was about to hit Kanglan City, an array formation light screen blocked Lu Qing's advance. A city protection array with no one to host it, and you think it can stop me? Break! Lu Qing's face was icy. A shimmering light appeared in his hand, suddenly blasting out a huge white fist imprint. Boom! The huge fist imprint slammed into the array formation light screen, violently clashing, causing the light screen to warp and wave, small cracks appearing. But it was already heavily damaged from stopping that terrifying power surge earlier on the city protection array. Now unhosted, facing Lu Qing's attack, it finally couldn't bear the weight and was about to collapse. Seeing this, Lu Qing punched again, and the cracks on the light screen began to grow larger. Mr. Lu, what should we do? This Kanglan City array, without the city lord hosting, can't withstand this person. Seeing the cracks on the light screen, the Treasure Tower Master and others panicked. Although they were also Golden Core Realm experts, the aura Lu Qing emitted was too terrifying. They had no confidence to defend against him. What can we do? Lu Qing sighed. This person is formidable, and now he's locked onto our divine souls. Even if we flee, we can't escape his detection. Furthermore, even if we wanted to, those outside probably wouldn't agree. Would they? You brat, your spiritual sense is quite sharp. At this moment, several figures suddenly appeared. Leading them was a middle-aged man in fine clothing, strong aura radiating, enveloping the Treasure Tower Master and others. It was undoubtedly a late-stage Golden Core expert. And the ones behind him were also Golden Core Realm experts. Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master? Is it you? Seeing the person, the Treasure Tower Master's face changed dramatically again. Yes, it's me. You wretch, you break the rules, seize the spirit stones from our Heavenly Mechanism workshop, and you've offended young Master Yu trying to escape? Wait here obediently for the young master's arrival. Or don't blame me for being merciless. Indeed, the people who suddenly appeared were the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and his group. Earlier during the Primordial Spirit Realm battle among Kanglan City Lord and others, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master dared not make any extra moves, merely sensing the aura and hiding far away. Now that the situation was clear, he appeared again to make a show before young Master Yu. However, he didn't presumptuously act against the Treasure Tower Master and others. Young Master Yu's current demeanor already showed deep murderous intent. He didn't want to inadvertently touch a sore point. If he did something wrong, it would be him who suffers. Miss, I'll block them. You take the City Lord and leave, go to the City Lord mansion. There's still a big array there that might block them for a while. Just then, a figure blocked in front of the Treasure Tower Master. It was Uncle Fu who had been quietly following her. A powerful aura radiated from him, also a late-stage Golden Core expert. Yes, there's still the City Lord mansion, the Treasure Tower Master suddenly realized. However, before the Treasure Tower Master and others could act, another voice rang out. Trying to leave? That's not going to happen. Our Wanxiang Pavilion is also here to assist the young master in capturing the demonic scum. As the voice fell, a red-faced old man with wild hair appeared with several others, blocking another direction. Even people from Wanxiang Pavilion are here? Despair appeared on the faces of the Treasure Tower Master and the others. The direction blocked by the red-faced old man was precisely the one leading to the City Lord Mansion. What made them even more desperate was that, at this moment, a thunderous roar resounded above, shaking the entire city. It was the array formation light screen of Kanglan City, which couldn't withstand Gong Shu Yu's repeated attacks and finally shattered completely. Accompanied by the energy storm stirred up by the shattering of the array formation light screen, Gong Shu Yu truly descended upon Kanglan City. You lowly people, are you ready to die yet? How could this happen? Watching Gong Shu Yu descend like a demon god, the eyes of the Treasure Tower Master were full of despair, and her heart was even more filled with unwillingness. Back then, she spent 100 years of her lifespan to urge her bloodline divine skills. Finally, she received a hint from the River of Fate. The chance to break free from the shackles of fate lay in this Little Tsong realm, in Kanglan City. But now, facing the current situation and Gong Shu Yu's fierce killing intent, she truly saw no hope for herself and the others to survive by chance. Could it be that the so-called opportunity one calculated by spending 100 years was just another mockery of fate for me? Filled with unwillingness, a more desperate thought suddenly arose in the Treasure Tower Master's heart. Gong Shu Yu descended with an icy killing intent all over his body. His gaze first lingered on Nangong Yuanwu. Seeing that he was half dead and completely unconscious, he moved his gaze and finally landed on the Treasure Tower Master. Bitch, because of you I suffered great losses. I want to abolish your cultivation and throw you into the lowest brothel, where you'll be ridden by thousands and cursed by tens of thousands, suffering humiliation to death. With that, Gong Shu Yu conjured a glass-colored magic palm, reaching for the Treasure Tower Master. Miss, run quickly, Uncle Fu shouted, and his aura suddenly burst forth, pouncing towards the magic palm. Ignorant of life and death, Gong Shu Yu sneered, and the magic palm suddenly accelerated, drawing a mysterious arc and slamming directly onto Uncle Fu's body. A violent airflow erupted, and Uncle Fu's body was sent flying. His physical body crashed through countless houses, finally falling in a heap of ruins, unable to rise again. Uncle Fu! As the Treasure Tower Master exclaimed in shock, the glass-colored magic palm, however, did not lose momentum and continued to grab at her. The powerful suppressing force descended on the Treasure Tower Master and the others. Even if they wanted to dodge, their bodies were sluggish, almost unable to move. They could only watch as the magic palm slowly drew closer to them. Judging by the aura emanating from the magic palm with this grasp, even if the Treasure Tower Master and the others had the cultivation of the Golden Core realm, they were likely to be seriously injured with their physical bodies shattered. Just as the magic palm was about to grasp the treasure tower master and the others, a sigh suddenly rang out. Then a faint voice gently uttered a word. Stop! With the appearance of this voice, everything around changed instantly. The space within several miles became stagnant. The glass-colored magic palm, which was overwhelmingly powerful, suddenly slowed down immensely, ultimately being firmly frozen in mid-air. It remained suspended less than 3 feet in front of the treasure tower master and the others, unable to advance. Not only that, but even the surrounding strong individuals felt an immense heaviness in their bodies. With their golden core realm cultivation, they found it difficult to resist, suppressed in place, almost unable to move. What? Gong Shu Yu was taken aback to see his Taoist skill being blocked. At the same time, he felt an invisible suppressing force attempting to descend upon him. He immediately snorted coldly, his body glowing with treasure light, directly dispelling the suppressing force. As expected of a direct lineage Taoist of one of the 36 upper clans in the upper world, the Gongsu family, with so many treasures on you. A calm voice sounded, and following the direction of the sound, Gong Shu Yu's gaze narrowed sharply. When the other powerful individuals saw that person's appearance, their expressions also changed drastically. Whether they knew the person's identity or not, all of them were shocked. Mr. Lu, the treasure tower master stared blankly at Lu Qing. At this moment, behind Lu Qing, a faint, ancient big cauldron's shadow emerged. Everyone could feel that the force suppressing the surrounding space and Gong Shu Yu's magic palm originated from this ancient big cauldron shadow. I never expected that there would be a hidden master within the treasure tower. Kid, who are you? Seeing Lu Qing's appearance, Gong Shu Yu's expression turned fierce, directly questioning. It was as if he didn't care at all that his magic palm was suppressed by Lu Qing. However, beneath his composed facade, Gong Shu Yu's heart was tumbling with waves, because he realized that he couldn't see through Lu Qing's true nature. At this moment, according to his perception, Lu Qing only exhibited the realm of Golden Core Third Turn. Yet, how could someone at Golden Core Third Turn suppress his Taoist skill? Moreover, judging from what the other party said earlier, it seemed they knew his background very well. For a moment, Gong Shu Yu's heart was filled with suspicion and uncertainty. He immediately activated his secret technique, with a strange light flickering in his eyes as he gazed at Lu Qing. It doesn't matter who I am, but I have always preferred peace and disliked slaughter. Young Master Gong Shu, since you won this battle today, why not be generous and spare the treasure tower master and the others on my account? Is that possible? Lu Qing's calm smile appeared, with the shadow of the leaving fire tripod behind him gently turning. On your account? Gong Shu Yu sneered coldly. What status do you have? What qualification do you have to make me give you face? Young master, it's him. He's the mysterious talisman maker from the treasure tower. The one who crafted the latest talisman in Kanglan City. At this moment, the heavenly mechanism pavilion master suddenly shouted. He recognized Lu Qing's appearance and finally recalled the descriptions from the intelligence they had gathered about the mysterious talisman maker these days. So it's you. With those words, not only did the bodies of other strong individuals tense. Gong Shu Yu's gaze also turned cold. So all the turmoil in Kanglan City was instigated by you alone. It seems you are the demonic residue behind the treasure tower. Young Master Gong Shu is truly perceptive. Even at this moment, you do not forget to place false accusations on me. Lu Qing shook his head. It seems there's no room for negotiation? Gong Shu Yu did not reply. He observed Lu Qing for a while with his unique secret technique. He discovered that the other party truly was only at the Golden Core Third Turn realm. He had great confidence in his secret technique. It was a technique created by a sixth transition ancestor of his sect. Below the primordial spirit realm, no one could escape his scrutiny. Thus, the boy before him was not some hidden master but had used other means to suppress his Taoist skill. Was it that tripod-shaped magical treasure? Gong Shu Yu's gaze fell on the ancient big cauldron shadow behind Lu Qing, revealing a knowing look. To suppress his Taoist skill, It couldn't be an ordinary magical treasure. This ancient big cauldron must be of extremely high grade, likely a high-grade spirit artifact. A sense of greed suddenly emerged from the depths of Gong Shu Yu's heart. He had suffered heavy losses this time, with several trump cards lost for no reason. But if he could obtain a high-level spirit artifact, he could recover all his losses. After all, even among the primordial spirit great powers, not everyone could own a high-grade spirit artifact or above. Thinking of this, Gong Shu Yu immediately shouted, "Insignificant demonic residue dares to run wild in the righteous land. Do you think you can disguise yourself with the advantage of a magical treasure? Watch as I strip away your disguise and reveal your true form." With that, treasure light also appeared on his body. The next moment, he swung his fist, and a terrifying white fist imprint was launched towards Lu Qing. However, in the next moment his expression changed. He actually crushed my Emperor Fist seal with his bare hands? Lu Qing not only effortlessly caught the fist imprint I had struck with all my might, but also casually crushed it. In Gong Shu Yu's eyes, an expression of disbelief appeared. However, before he could come to his senses, he saw Lu Qing's figure disappear from the spot. When he reappeared, he was already less than 3 feet away from him. Not good. A chill emerged from Gong Shu Yu's heart. That was the instinct he had honed through countless refinements, warning him relentlessly. He thought of dodging, but already felt a pain in his chest as an incredibly fierce fist power exploded in front of him. It sent his whole body flying backward at great speed, crashing through countless buildings. Under the penetration of the fist power, his limbs and bones were shocked and numb, rendering him unable to move or use his mana. Impossible! My treasure armor is a spiritual artifact. Why could his fist power penetrate it? Gong Shu Yu roared inwardly, unable to believe what he was sensing. But before he could shout out, he noticed his vision blur as Lu Qing appeared in front of him once more. Lu Qing had caught up to him swiftly after blasting him away with a punch. Spiritual level treasure armor? A faint voice emitted from Lu Qing's mouth. Then, with a calm expression, he executed a whip kick, sending Gong Shu Yu flying upwards. Bang! Driven by the power of a perfect golden core, Lu Qing's strength now was terrifying beyond measure. With just a single exertion, the force he unleashed was already astonishing. Even a mountain peak could be effortlessly shattered. Gong Shu Yu, struck by this kick, was sent uncontrollably flying towards the sky under the explosive force. His body tore through the atmosphere, bursting out layers of white mist, accompanied by muffled thunderous sounds. This was due to the abnormal phenomena caused by his body shattering the atmosphere as he flew up too fast. If not for the defensive power of the spiritual artifact treasure armor he wore, this alone would have been enough to shatter his physical body. After kicking Gong Shu Yu into the sky, Lu Qing lowered both his feet. In the next moment, the ground beneath him started to collapse, and the houses within a radius of dozens of feet instantly shattered. Fortunately, when Gong Shu Yu descended earlier, the cultivators within several miles, fearing they would be caught in the crossfire, had already fled far away. Otherwise, countless people might have been affected and died from this single collapse alone. Under the indescribably powerful force propelling him, Lu Qing's speed reached an unimaginable level. In just an instant, he caught up with Gong Shu Yu, who had broken through layers of turbulent air. Then, he punched his chest again, causing the treasure light of the armor on Gong Shu Yu to tremble violently, nearly extinguishing. His body was like a rubber ball, flying out once more. However, just as Gong Shu Yu's body flew out not far, Lu Qing appeared behind him again, punching him back. Like this, Lu Qing's figure continuously flickered in the sky. Treating Gong Shu Yu like a sandbag, he relentlessly pummeled him within a half-mile range. To the other cultivators in the city, this scene set off a stormy wave. Young Master Yu is being suppressed, unable to fight back? The heavenly mechanism pavilion master looked up at the sky, doubting his senses. In his heart, young Master Yu, who was incredibly powerful and considered invincible within the Golden Core realm, was now being one-sidedly beaten in the sky, unable to fight back. Other Golden Core realm experts like the red-faced elder from Wanxiang Pavilion were equally shocked. They had personally experienced the might Gongshu Yu had displayed earlier. Knowing that his prowess was unfathomable, within the Golden Core realm, perhaps only a primordial spirit great power could contend. But what had they seen now? The young Master Gongshu, who was like a demon god just now, was now like a sandbag, being ruthlessly pummeled by Lu Qing. Wasn't that young man brought by the treasure tower as a talisman master? How could his strength be so formidable? Could it be he is hiding his cultivation as a primordial spirit great power? The people at the Heavenly Mechanism Workshop and the Wanxiang Pavilion found it hard to believe. And it wasn't much better on the treasure tower side. The treasure tower master and others were staring blankly at Lu Qing in the sky, punching Gongshu Yu relentlessly, distorting his body. To think Master Lu's strength is this terrifying? Master Wang looked up at the sky, muttering to himself. It seems Chief Lu has always been hiding his strength. He couldn't possibly be just a Golden Core third turn. A Vice Tower Master also exclaimed in surprise. And Master Chiu, who had always been overpowered, was already pale and bloodless. Previously, he had dared to harbor malicious intent against such a formidable being? The Treasure Tower Master looked up, a bright light in her eyes beyond description. Indeed, her prediction back then was not wrong. The opportunity to break the shackles of fate truly resides in Kanglan City. And it lies with Mr. Lu. Master, it seems young Master Yu is about to be defeated. What should we do? At this moment, someone behind the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master asked quietly through divine soul transmission. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master had a jolt and came to his senses. Indeed, young Master Yu was clearly no match for the opponent now. They needed to plan ahead for countermeasures. Otherwise, when the battle above concludes, they won't fare well either. Thinking of this, a decisive light flashed in the eyes of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master. He immediately ordered, "This time, our Heavenly Mechanism Workshop has seriously offended the City Lord, and there is no way back. We can only walk this road to the very end. That talisman maker clearly values Mo Hongyun, that bitch, very much. We must act immediately, capture her, and use her to threaten that person above to release young Master." With that, he charged towards the Treasure Tower Master and others first. Yes, the few Golden Core realm experts behind him understood the urgency of the situation. They followed suit, intending to capture the Treasure Tower Master and the others. Tower Master, be careful. As the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others moved, the two Vice Tower Masters immediately reacted. They rushed to the front of the Treasure Tower Master to face the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master. Although their cultivation was slightly inferior to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Masters, together they could barely match him. The other members of the Treasure Tower were equally fearless. They each brought out their magical treasures, prepared to fight to the death. They could all see that the Heavenly Mechanism Workshop was desperate. They wanted to capture them as hostages to threaten Chief Lu. As long as they could hold out until the battle above ended, victory would be theirs. Boom! A great battle was about to erupt. The Heavenly Mechanism Workshop wanted to quickly capture the Treasure Tower Master as a hostage, so they attacked with full force. But the Treasure Tower also fought back fiercely, undaunted by death. Even the usually pampered Treasure Tower Master brought out a spiritual hairpin, joining the battle to assist the two Vice Tower Masters in resisting the enemy. Thus, despite losing Uncle Fu, a significant force, the Treasure Tower barely held on. For the time being, the situation on both sides was at a standstill. Vice Pavilion Master, should we not help? Watching the fierce battle ahead, someone from Wanxiang Pavilion asked softly. However, the red-faced elder glared. Help? We are just here to watch. Who said we should make a move? Seeing the fearful look of his subordinate, the red-faced elder snorted coldly. He looked up at the sky, feeling the waves of terrifying energy, a chill in his heart. Even the immensely powerful Gongshu Yu was no match for that mysterious talisman maker. If Wanxiang Pavilion got involved, wouldn't they be courting death? They had taken a wrong step earlier and couldn't afford another mistake. The Heavenly Mechanism Workshop had no way out, but Wanxiang Pavilion still had room to maneuver. At worst, later they could prepare some compensatory gifts and go apologize. While the red-faced elder was thinking about what gifts to prepare, his eyes suddenly shrank. He saw a figure rapidly plummeting from the sky, landing not far from the battling crowd, toppling the surrounding houses and kicking up a cloud of dust. Then, another figure descended from the sky, landing in the dust. Such commotion naturally could not be concealed from those in battle. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master looked up and his heart went cold. The sky was already empty. His mind raced, and he gritted his teeth, his figure immediately shooting out, trying to escape the city. However, before he could escape Tenjiang, he felt an unimaginably heavy suppressive force descend upon him. With his late-stage Golden Core Realm's 7th transition strength, he couldn't resist at all, immediately being pinned in place, unable to move a bit further. Not only him, but other Golden Core Realm experts as well, including the red-faced elder from Wanxiang Pavilion and others. They all felt the powerful suppressive force descend upon them again, making them dare not make a single move. Just like that, the battlefield that was previously filled with rampant mana and treasure light suddenly fell quiet, because everyone knew that man had returned from the sky. All eyes were fixed on the cloud of dust. Plop, plop, in the dead silence, footsteps came out of the dust. Then, under everyone's gaze, a figure slowly walked out of the dust. In his hand, he seemed to be dragging something. Who else could it be but Lu Qing? At this moment, Lu Qing's expression remained calm. Even his clothes were not the slightest bit disordered. Suddenly, he gave a light toss, throwing the object he was dragging in his hand forward. A heavy metallic collision sounded, creating a small pit on the ground. "Young Master Yu!" The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master cried out in grief. Only then did the crowd see that what Lu Qing had thrown out was actually that young Master Gongshu. However, at this moment, Gongshu Yu was in an extremely miserable state. The spiritual treasure armor was twisted and deformed, dull and dim, like scrap metal, clinging to Gongshu Yu's body. As for Gongshu Yu himself, he had long been unrecognizable, almost turned into a mass of rotten flesh. Only a faint breath indicated he was still alive, not completely dead. Seeing this scene, everyone couldn't help but take a cold breath, their hands and feet icy, a chill rising in their hearts. They couldn't imagine what kind of torment Gongshu Yu had endured to become so miserable. "You? Who exactly are you?" At this moment, a faint divine soul fluctuation emanated from that heap of scrap iron and rotten flesh. It was the remaining shred of Gongshu Yu, unwillingly asking, "You're about to die. Does solving this question hold any meaning?" Lu Qing said blandly, "At least let me know who I died at the hands of." The divine soul fluctuation of Gongshu Yu intermittently transmitted. "Just consider me an ordinary traveler passing through Little Tsang Realm." Upon hearing Lu Qing's perfunctory answer, the already rotted mass of Gongshu Yu trembled, seemingly very angry. But in the end, he calmed down. "Can you not kill me? I am willing to pay any price, whatever treasures you want. I can give you. I am now ruined, posing no threat to you. Let me go. I can give you a large amount of treasures and cultivation techniques." Gongshu Yu, however, opened his mouth to plead for mercy. "I never like to leave future trouble." Lu Qing shook his head. "I already gave you a chance for reconciliation before, and you were the one who refused it." The mass of rotten flesh trembled again. "I am the direct lineage Taoist of the Gongsu family. If you kill me, our Gongsu family will never forgive you. Even if you flee to the ends of the earth, to the world's edge, you'll never escape the pursuit of our Gongsu family. If the Gongsu family were truly so powerful, they wouldn't be just one of the 36 upper clans of the heavenly origin great world." Lu Qing's expression remained calm, unfazed by Gongshu Yu's threat. "I'm letting you live a little longer, just because you let me stretch my muscles earlier." "You!" Such insulting words immediately enraged Gongshu Yu. causing the heap of rotten flesh to squirm again. All right, you're ruined anyway. Just go peacefully, and in your next life, cultivate well. With that, Lu Qing bent his finger, about to end Gong Shuyu's life. However, just at this moment, a weak voice suddenly rang out. Fellow Taoist, wait! Lu Qing's action paused momentarily. Turning his head, oh, could it be that city lord wishes to plead for this person? The nerves of everyone around had already been stretched to the limit. Their bodies trembled, looking over with difficulty. Yet they saw the Kanglan city lord, who had originally fainted, was now awake, half lying against a broken wall. Fellow Taoist, you misunderstand. It is not I, the city lord, who wishes to plead for this person. The Kanglan city lord spoke weakly. But this person is the direct lineage Taoist of the Gongsu family. If you truly kill him, you'll provoke enormous trouble. The Gongsu family will surely spare no cost in avenging him, pursuing you relentlessly. No matter how high your cultivation, it is difficult to withstand the pursuit of an upper clan from the heavenly origin great world. Why should fellow Taoist invite such a calamity? With these words, disbelief appeared on everyone's faces. No one could have expected that the Kanglan city lord would indeed speak up on behalf of Gong Shuyu. After all, he had been nearly killed under the siege of 3 primordial spirit realm members of the Gongsu family. Later, Gong Shuyu even intended to extract his primordial spirit to make a lamp, torturing him for hundreds of years. In such circumstances, for the Kanglan city lord to intercede for him, even the already rotten Gong Shuyu was momentarily stunned. Lu Qing looked rather quizzically at the Kanglan city lord. Could it be that city lord thinks that even if I spare this person, the Gongsu family will let me go? Of course not. The Gongsu family is always petty and vengeful, and they would never willingly reconcile. Then why does the city lord? It's over. As Gong Shuyu's presence gradually dissipated, the heavenly mechanism pavilion master also fell into despair. The death of young master you hear, regardless of what fate awaits Lu Qing and the Kanglan city lord, he knew that he was truly done for. The main family on that side would definitely not spare him. Thinking of the dreadfulness of the main family, despair filled the eyes of the heavenly mechanism pavilion master. They really killed him. The red-faced elder of the Wanxiang pavilion also widened his eyes. That was, after all, a direct lineage Taoist of the Gongshu family, one of the 36 upper clans of the upper realm. Nangong Yuanwu actually killed him. He could already imagine the turmoil it would cause once the news reached the upper realm. A direct lineage Taoist of the Gongshu family died in this small lower realm, the Little Tsang realm. This would not only shake the Gongshu family but would likely also draw the attention of other upper clans. It seemed this Little Tsang realm was about to become a place of turbulence. A direct lineage Taoist of the Gongshu family died here? Mo Hongyun, the treasure tower master, was also a bit dazed. There was a sense of luck for their survival and shock at Gong Shuyu's death. Being from the upper realm, she naturally understood what kind of influence the 36 upper clans held in the heavenly origin great world. One could say, in the vast righteous territories of the heavenly origin great world, the 36 upper clans, as representatives of noble families, each clan's strength could rival a top immortal Tao sect. Not only did they possess enormous resources, but the clans were also filled with many strong individuals, including numerous primordial spirit great powers. And among them, the Gongshu family was ranked in the top 10 even among the 36 upper clans. Such a powerful family, yet the direct lineage Taoist of this generation, died in the Little Tsang realm. Mo Hongyun didn't need to think to know that once the Gongshu family confirmed the news, they would be immensely enraged. By then, the Little Tsang realm feared it wouldn't escape endless turmoil. City Lord. Compared with the other's shock, Lu Qing's expression was much calmer. He hadn't planned to spare Gong Shuyu from the start, but he was surprised that the Kanglan city lord personally took action to slay him. Friend, don't blame me. The Kanglan city lord forcibly used primordial spirit techniques, and the little energy he had just recovered became weak again. For a direct lineage disciple of an upper clan family like Gong Shuyu, Upon birth, a primordial spirit great power from the family will use a secret technique on their divine soul. If they die, the secret technique transforms into causality, linking to the perpetrator. In this way, no matter where the perpetrator flees, they cannot escape the calculation of causality. If you had slain Gong Shuyu, you would have found every step difficult in the future. The Kanglan City Lord slowly explained. I see. Lu Qing suddenly understood. He thought to himself that these noble families with long legacies were indeed not to be underestimated. He had never heard of such bloodline causality secret techniques before. Thinking of this, he gained a bit more favorable impression of the Kanglan City Lord. This person had stopped him from killing Gong Shuyu not to plead for him, but to take on the causality of killing Gong Shuyu himself, allowing him to escape. Though his perfect golden core was formless and shapeless, ever-changing, unafraid of causal calculations, with numerous spiritual artifacts in his possession, if he wished to hide, even those in the primordial spirit realm would find it hard to trace him. But the Kanglan City Lord didn't know these, and to willingly bear this causality showed great responsibility. City Lord, how should we deal with these people? Lu Qing gestured around. City Lord, spare us. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and the red-faced Elder immediately felt tense. They looked hopefully at the Kanglan City Lord. They all knew that their lives depended on a word from the City Lord. The Kanglan City Lord looked at the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others, who were now suppressed. Amazed by Lu Qing's impressive methods, which even he found somewhat unfathomable, he also pondered. Finally, meeting the pleading eyes of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others, he slowly spoke. These people are, after all, citizens of my Kanglan City. Since Gong Shuyu is dead, let's not create more slaughter. Besides, I'm severely injured now and can no longer spare any heart power. For now, let's imprison them, and once I've recovered a bit, I'll deal with them then. Everything is at the behest of the City Lord. Lu Qing had no objections to this. He bore no real enmity towards the Heavenly Mechanism Workshop and Wanxiang Pavilion people. Since the Kanglan City Lord wished not to take severe actions, he wouldn't force anything. As for killing to silence, this conflict was witnessed by tens of thousands of cultivators in the city, so silencing was utterly unrealistic. If they dared attempt such, the monstrous sins would likely cause the world's heavenly Tao to immediately send down a heavenly tribulation. Even someone as ruthless as Gong Shuyu, despite being extremely furious earlier, only thought of torturing and killing the Kanglan City Lord, Mo Hongyun, and others. He didn't dare entertain the idea of massacring the city. Thank you, City Lord. Upon hearing the Kanglan City Lord offering temporary mercy on their lives, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others were elated. Even if they were to be imprisoned, they at least had a chance to live. If they were dead, then everything would truly be over. Open your heart and spirit and mana defenses, so I can place restrictions on your magic power golden core, or face death. Lu Qing said calmly. Hearing this, a chill ran through the hearts of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others. They dared not object and immediately opened their heart and spirit and mana defenses. With Gong Shuyu's precedent, they didn't doubt Lu Qing's willingness to follow through. He dared to kill even the direct lineage Taoist of the 36 upper clans from the upper realm. What else would he not dare to do? Seeing that all the Golden Core realm cultivators had relaxed their heart and spirit and mana defenses, Lu Qing swiftly sketched with his fingers, and mysterious runes emerged from the void, quickly forming a talisman. Void Talisman. All the Golden Core realm cultivators, like the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master, were greatly shocked seeing this scene. It was only then that they remembered Lu Qing's identity as a talisman maker. To speak of it, the turmoil in Kanglan City was all initiated because of him. All along, they were speculating about the level that the talisman maker of the treasure tower had reached in the art of talisman making. Now, seeing Lu Qing display his art of creating talismans in the void, they all realized. This one's talisman-making technique had truly reached the realm of a master. On top of that, Lu Qing possessed a prowess strong enough to completely outmatch Gong Shuyu. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and the red-faced elder finally understood why they lost so utterly in this talisman market struggle. With a mysterious and incredibly powerful talisman master supporting the treasure tower from behind, it's no wonder they were not a match for the treasure tower. Lu Qing was quick in sketching the talisman. Although he didn't use the Divine Mind technique, it wasn't long before he imposed a ceiling restriction on the magic power golden cores of all the golden core realm cultivators he subdued. As soon as the restriction was placed, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and other golden core realm cultivators immediately felt their magic power golden cores completely sealed. Not only were they unable to harness the power within, but even their connection with external spiritual energy was entirely cut off. Now, apart from their physical bodies still being robust, they were completely unable to use any mana. What kind of restriction is this, so powerful? Feeling their magic power golden cores completely sealed, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others secretly lamented. Any fleeting hopes they harbored were completely extinguished. They dared not entertain any more thoughts. City Lord, I've sealed the magic power golden cores of these individuals with restrictions, preventing them from using mana. After finally sealing the magic power golden core of the last golden core realm cultivator of the Heavenly Mechanism Workshop, Lu Qing spoke. Thank you for your efforts, Taoist friend. The Kanglan City Lord had been watching all along and was quite astonished by Lu Qing's methods. At the same time, he became even more interested in the origin of this mysterious powerhouse. He could sense that Lu Qing was definitely not at the primordial spirit realm, because he lacked the distinct primordial spirit aura of someone in the primordial spirit realm. And in the earlier battle between Lu Qing and Gong Shuyu, Lu Qing had not used any techniques belonging to the primordial spirit realm. But precisely because of this, the City Lord was even more astonished. In his perception, the cultivation that Lu Qing currently exhibited appeared to be only at the third transition mid-grade golden core level. Yet how could just a third transition mid-grade golden core easily crush and defeat Gong Shuyu, who possessed a golden core 8th turn cultivation? Therefore, Lu Qing must have employed some secret technique or magical treasure to conceal his true cultivation. And this concealment was so profound that even someone at the primordial spirit realm like him couldn't see through it. However, despite his astonishment, the Kanglan City Lord knew it was not the time for curiosity. City Lord, where should these people be imprisoned? Lu Qing asked. Take them to my mansion. The City Lord mansion has a black stone prison, crafted specifically for imprisoning powerful cultivators. It's not only exceedingly sturdy, it can also block all divine soul spirit probing. Even those at the primordial spirit realm would find it difficult to break out in a short time when imprisoned there. It's perfectly suited for containing them. Very well. Lu Qing gladly agreed upon hearing such a suitable location. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others, hearing that the Kanglan City Lord planned to imprison them in the Black Stone Prison, felt even more despair. This way, even if they wanted to seek help, there would be no possibility. Hong Yun, you send 2 people to help escort these individuals to the City Lord mansion. The Kanglan City Lord instructed. Yes, City Lord. The Treasure Tower Master Mo Hong Yun respectfully replied. Even now, do you still address me as the City Lord? The Kanglan City Lord looked at Mo Hong Yun, sighing. Mo Hong Yun remained silent, not speaking. After a while, she softly said, I understand, Uncle. Something stirred in Lu Qing's heart, clearing the doubts that lingered. Previously, he found it strange why the Kanglan City Lord would be willing to turn against Gong Shuyu for the sake of the treasure tower. Even in the face of the 3 great primordial spirits, he didn't back down. Moreover, what gave Mo Hong Yun the confidence to defy the rules and seize control of the entire talisman market in Kanglan City? It turned out she shared such a relationship with the City Lord of Kanglan City. However, judging by the current situation, the relationship between them seemed rather complex. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others, upon hearing Mo Hong Yun call the City Lord Uncle, were stunned and greatly shocked. In their eyes, regret surfaced. If they had known earlier about the close relationship between Mo Hong Yun and the City Lord, They wouldn't have dared to take such blatant actions against the treasure tower. Now it was too late. One wrong move and they lost the entire game. They had misjudged the situation and could now only become prisoners. Good. Very good. You finally acknowledge me. Upon hearing Mo Hongyun call him uncle, the Kanglan City Lord was overjoyed, a broad smile spreading across his face, as if even his injuries were slightly healed. Seeing his happiness, a soft emotion stirred within Mo Hongyun's heart. Still, she maintained a stern face. Even though I called you uncle, it doesn't mean I'll forgive you or the Nangong family for what you did to my father and mother back then. I hope you understand this. The Kanglan City Lord was momentarily speechless. He then smiled wryly. I know, it was my fault back then. I will make amends in the future. Upon hearing this, Lu Qing immediately understood. Truly seemed like things were quite complicated between these two. Moreover, since I called you uncle, I have one more request for you, Mo Hongyun said. The Kanglan City Lord's spirits lifted. What is it? Tell me, as long as it's within my power, I will agree. My request is simple. You may temporarily imprison everyone else, but there is one person you cannot take away. Who? It's him, Qiu Rong. Mo Hongyun pointed. He betrayed our treasure tower, secretly using a devilish magical treasure within our treasure tower, which led to this entire disturbance. At this, Qiu Rong's face changed dramatically, just when he was internally rejoicing that he might escape unscathed. Yet, unexpectedly, this turned out to be the vile woman who still remembered him. In panic, he immediately fell to his knees with a thud. He kept kowtowing to the Kanglan City Lord. City Lord, please forgive me just this once. Qiu Rong knew begging that vile woman Mo Hongyun was certainly futile, so his only hope for clemency now lay with the Kanglan City Lord. He continued kowtowing until the bluestones under his feet shattered to pieces. Yet the Kanglan City Lord was not someone to be swayed by such petty pleas. He immediately said, since this person has betrayed the treasure tower by using a devilish magical treasure in secret, I'll hand him over to you for punishment. City Lord. Silence. Qiu Rong's face changed dramatically at once. Originally, he was feeling fortunate to have escaped disaster. Unexpectedly, this vile woman remembered him. Suddenly, with a thud, he fell to his knees. He continued to kowtow to the Kanglan City Lord. Please, City Lord, spare me this once. With his magic power golden core sealed, and losing his mana shield, how could Qiu Rong withstand such force? He was immediately slapped into the air, spinning several times before landing heavily on the ground. Not only was one side of his face smashed, with teeth flying out, but he also fainted in a pitiful and abject state. This woman, seeing Qiu Rong's half-face smashed by Mo Hongyun's slap and his whole body fainting, as well as Mo Hongyun's face full of coldness, looking as if she still hadn't vented her hatred. Everyone was shocked, especially the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others. Their hearts were chilled, realizing that this woman probably holds a deep grudge against them now. If not for the City Lord's unwillingness to commit more slaughter, their fate might not have been much better. After knocking Qiu Rong unconscious, Mo Hongyun did not let him go. Instead, she unleashed another strike of mana, with even greater power, directly smashing Qiu Rong's head. Red and white matter flew, and a golden core middle stage expert died humiliatingly in a coma. This scene made the hearts of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and others tremble, once again realizing the ruthlessness of the woman before them. As for the Kanglan City Lord, his face showed no change at all. In his view, it was just a golden core realm cultivator. Dead was dead, and moreover, he deserved it, so he didn't care at all. After Mo Hongyun killed the man, he said, feeling better? Then come with your uncle to the City Lord Mansion first. Now that Gongshu Yu is dead, the Gongsu family will soon get the news and probably send someone down soon. Come with me to the City Lord Mansion, so I can ensure your safety. Yes, uncle. Mo Hongyun did not oppose, knowing well that now was not a time to be willful. But I have to tidy things up and handle the matters of the treasure tower before I can go. That's fine, but don't take too long. Although descending from the upper realm to the Little Tsang realm takes time, at most a day, the Gongsu family is likely to send someone down, so you have only half a day to handle the treasure tower matters. The Kanglan City Lord reminded. I know. After advising Mo Hongyun, the Kanglan City Lord turned to Lu Qing and asked, What are your plans, fellow Taoist? All eyes immediately turned to Lu Qing. This turmoil source could be traced back to Lu Qing, and he even clinched the final situation. However, everyone was clueless about his background. So now everyone wanted to know how Lu Qing would respond, especially Mo Hongyun. She was now fully convinced that Lu Qing was the one who could help her break free from the shackles of fate. Therefore, she cared intensely about where Lu Qing would go next. Lu Qing, naturally, would not be foolish enough to reveal his plans in front of so many people. He smiled slightly. Junior has some matters to discuss with the City Lord. May I visit the City Lord mansion as well? Of course, the Kanglan City Lord said with some delight. Coincidentally, I also wish to discuss Taoist skills with you, fellow Taoist. The subsequent matters were much simpler. Mo Hongyun went to handle the matters of the treasure tower, while Lu Qing accompanied the Kanglan City Lord to the City Lord mansion. This was also to escort him, as the Kanglan City Lord's current situation was not ideal. If any ill-intentioned person wanted to take action against him, he might not be able to defend himself. As for Little Li and the 5 elements, from the beginning Lu Qing had had them temporarily enter the Chenkuan Qi bag. Ever since the Chenkuan Qi bag was reforged with an artifact spirit, its internal space had significantly expanded again. It was now comparable to the Leaving Fire tripod, able to accommodate living creatures of the Golden Core level. However, due to the limited spiritual energy within the space, Little Li and others could only stay inside, unable to cultivate. Therefore, unless there was an extremely urgent situation, Lu Qing generally would not have them enter the spiritual artifact. Although Kanglan City was large, for strong individuals like Lu Qing and others, this distance was insignificant. Soon, he escorted the Kanglan City Lord back to the City Lord mansion. Master, are you all right? At this time, an elderly servant rushed out from within, looking worriedly at the Kanglan City Lord, whose body was still covered in wounds. I'm fine. How are the guards doing? The Kanglan City Lord waved his hand, then asked. The old servant's expression darkened. A small portion of the guards were severely injured and fell into a coma from the recoil of the array, while the rest suffered damage to their golden cores, rendered unable to fight. As long as no one has died, minor injuries can eventually be healed, the Kanglan City Lord said dismissively. Take those people outside to the Black Stone prison. Then go to the storeroom and get some elixirs for the guards, so they can heal quickly. Yes, master. After the old servant left, the Kanglan City Lord saw Lu Qing's surprised expression. He thought for a moment and explained, I let you witness a joke. The guards in the mansion are not up to par. I had them preside over the big array to assist me in battle. Unexpectedly, just the backlash from one array left them all injured and incapacitated. Otherwise, how could the petty people from the Heavenly Mechanism Workshop have acted so arrogantly? Lu Qing understood. He had been curious earlier why, as the ruler of Kanglan City, only the Kanglan City Lord had come out to oppose the enemy. And after he was severely injured, no one came to his aid from the City Lord mansion. As it turned out, during the great battle with the 3 primordial spirit great powers from the Gongsu family, they had all suffered backlash from the array, losing their fighting capacity. It's a pity that when I came down to the Little Tsang realm, I didn't bring many people. The guards in the mansion were all trained after taking charge of Kanglan City. Otherwise, if the elite guards of my Nangong family were here, the array they formed would not have been so easily broken, the Kanglan City Lord said with some regret. When he initially came down to take charge of Kanglan City, he actually did so with the intention of spending his remaining years here. After all, at that time he was nearing his primordial spirit tribulation, but he had no confidence in crossing it. In addition, some sordid matters within the clan made him very unhappy. He simply found a task and came to the Little Tsang realm for tranquility. Because of this, he came down without much manpower. He only brought a few Golden Core realm attendants who had always followed him. If he had brought the elite guards of the clan down that day, today's battle might have been a different story. Of course, the Kanglan City Lord didn't elaborate on these things, only briefly mentioned them to Lu Qing. After chatting with Lu Qing for a while, the Kanglan City Lord's chi blood became somewhat better. At this time, he took out a jade box from his storage magical artifact, opened it, and inside was a purple elixir with swirling medicinal aura. The medicinal aroma spread, making Lu Qing feel mentally invigorated, and the mana within his body circulated a bit faster. He immediately knew that this elixir must be of extremely high grade. The Kanglan City Lord looked at the elixir in his hand with some pain. This was originally kept for crossing the next primordial spirit tribulation. But now his injuries were too severe, and normal recuperation might take decades, making complete recovery difficult. The Gongshu family's people could come down at any moment, and he simply didn't have the time, so he had to consume this treasure pill. After a moment of heartache, the Kanglan City Lord looked resolute and swallowed the elixir, starting to circulate mana to dissolve the elixir. Soon, his originally pale complexion improved significantly, gaining some color. The scars on his body healed rapidly at a rate visible to the naked eye. A quarter of an hour later, the external wounds on his body disappeared. The Kanglan City Lord opened his eyes, looking radiant, without the previous sense of weakness. Has the City Lord's injuries healed? Lu Qing was secretly shocked, wondering what kind of elixir it was that made the Kanglan City Lord change so drastically in such a short time, with the injuries greatly improved. Unfortunately, the City Lord swallowed the elixir too quickly, making it impossible for him to use his superpower to check the elixir's information. It's not that simple, just external injuries have healed. The City Lord waved his hand. Primordial spirit injuries are much more troublesome and will take some time to heal. But it doesn't matter. By tomorrow, I will be able to recover most of my strength. That's great. With the City Lord's power restored, we can have some confidence. Lu Qing said with a smile. Taoist friend, you flatter me. I just cultivated a few more days than you to have this strength. Instead, it's you, Taoist friend, who truly amazes me. Gongshu Yu, however incompetent, is one of the direct lineage Taoists of this generation of the Gongshu family. Having crossed the ninefold heavenly tribulation, he has refined a flawless top-grade golden core. He's cultivated the highly profound Gongshu family cultivation technique, the Emperor Heart technique, and his cultivation has reached the golden core 8th turn realm. His power, without claiming superiority over the younger generation, is still rare to find an opponent within the golden core realm. Yet you, Taoist friend, can easily defeat him, with Gongshu Yu unable to counter even slightly from start to finish. In my eyes, Taoist friend, you are truly profound and unfathomable. May I ask, where does your master hail from, and which great world are you from? The Kanglan City Lord finally voiced his doubts. It's difficult to resist a master's orders. When the junior left to travel, my master sternly ordered me not to disclose his name. Therefore, revealing my master's lineage would be inconvenient, so I ask for the City Lord's understanding. Lu Qing did not disclose his origins. It seems your master must be an extraordinary expert to have taught such a gifted young talent like you, Taoist friend. The Kanglan City Lord was not displeased with Lu Qing's answer. On the contrary, he became more convinced that Lu Qing's master's lineage must be exceedingly powerful and likely his master is a remarkable primordial spirit great power. Otherwise, there would be no need to deliberately conceal the lineage. If my master knew of your praises, he'd be very pleased. Lu Qing said with a smile. I can't take that, you shouldn't exaggerate. The Kanglan City Lord waved his hands repeatedly. It was a joke. If such a venerable expert knew, he dared to comment on him with a mere primordial spirit tribulation. Who knows if he would become angry? Although he belongs to the Nangong family, he does not want to offend such formidable beings without reason. Thus, the Kanglan City Lord quickly switched topics. By the way, Mr. Lu, you mentioned earlier that you wanted to ask me something. What is it? It's like this. Lu Qing's expression became serious. Originally, I plan to enter the Heavenly Origin Great World to train, but after today's incident, I wonder if I can still enter the upper world? You want to enter the Heavenly Origin Great World to train? The Kanglan City Lord was a bit surprised. He did not expect the question Lu Qing wanted to ask was this. Yes, the reason I stayed in the Little Tsang realm was because I didn't have enough spirit stones to pay for the transition to the upper world. Now I've gathered enough spirit stones, but I have clashed with the Gongshu family. Therefore, I want to seek advice from the senior whether I can still enter the upper world under such circumstances. If not, how should I leave the Little Tsang realm? Lu Qing knew that taking Kanglan City's transmission array could lead him from Star Sky City out of the Little Tsang realm. But he was uncertain whether the strong primordial spirit realm cultivator stationed at Star Sky City would allow him to leave. After all, he was not clear about any connections the person might have with the Gongshu family. However, facing Lu Qing's question, the Kanglan City Lord did not answer immediately, instead asking, "You wish to enter the Heavenly Origin Great World, so you should know the entry rules, right?" The junior understands. Lu Qing nodded. To enter the Heavenly Origin Great World, one needs to go to Heavenly Heart City in the center of the Little Tsang realm and use the Breaking Boundary Transmission Array. But the cost of the Breaking Boundary Transmission Array is extremely high, requiring 100 middle-grade spirit stones each time. What high cost? That's just a rule deliberately set for you foreign cultivators. The Kanglan City Lord laughed. Although the Breaking Boundary Transmission Array consumes a lot with each activation, it cannot possibly require so many spirit stones. If it really needed that much, even the top forces of the upper world couldn't afford it. In reality, each activation of the transmission array requires only one middle-grade spirit stone. Moreover, the Little Tsang realm isn't far from the Heavenly Origin Great World, so the transmission array's consumption isn't exaggerated. The junior certainly knows, but I have no other way but to follow the rules. Lu Qing certainly knew that the consumption of the transmission array couldn't need so many spirit stones, especially after he thoroughly understood the mysteries of the transmission array at Star Sky City. He was even clearer on this. The high fees charged by Heavenly Heart City were merely to gouge the foreign cultivators like him. But what could be done? The world powers of the Heavenly Origin Great World are too strong. The world membrane is incredibly tough and capable of isolating space, making it impossible for ordinary primordial spirit great powers to break through by force. His void ship is also powerless against it. So foreign cultivators like him, even if they lament the spirit stones, can only endure being gouged for the opportunities within the Heavenly Origin Great World. Ordinary foreign cultivators naturally cannot avoid this issue, but Mr. Lu, you are not among them. The Kanglan City Lord said with a smile. What do you mean, City Lord? Lu Qing was slightly startled. However, the Kanglan City Lord still did not answer directly but continued to ask. Mr. Lu, do you think we, who originally... The Kanglan City Lord smiled. What do you mean, City Lord? Lu Qing was slightly startled. However, the Kanglan City Lord still did not answer directly but continued to ask. Mr. Lu, do you think we, who originally... The Kanglan City Lord smiled. What do you mean, City Lord? Lu Qing was slightly startled. However, the Kanglan City Lord still did not answer directly but continued to ask. Mr. Lu, do you think we, who originally... The Breaking Boundary Transmission Array in Heavenly Heart City is only for you outsiders to use. In fact, top sect forces like our 36 upper clans have their own transmission arrays to travel to and from the Heavenly Origin Great World. However, the Little Tsang realm is, after all, just a small world with limited resources. Most sects capable of setting up a Breaking Boundary Transmission Array aren't very interested in this place. Even if they are interested, they only send a few side branches to manage it. Just like the Heavenly Mechanism Workshop, which is actually an industry under a certain lady of the Gongshu family's direct lineage. So, not every force has set up a transmission array in the Little Tsang realm. With the explanation from the Kanglan City Lord, Lu Qing's eyes gradually lit up. Then, City Lord, your Nangong family. Facing Lu Qing's somewhat expectant gaze, The Kanglan City Lord nodded with a smile. Yes, our Nangong family happens to have a small transmission array in this little Tsang realm, right here in Kanglan City. When I descended from the upper world, I used that transmission array. This revelation truly delighted Lu Qing. I wonder if I could borrow that transmission array to enter the heavenly origin great world? At the same time, he finally understood why the other party was so confident, despite knowing that members of the Gongshu family were coming down to the realm. It turned out there was another way out, a means to return to the upper world at any time. He also realized that what Mo Hongyun had said about other ways to enter the heavenly origin great world referred to this. Of course, Mr. Lu, you saved my life earlier. If you hadn't blocked Gong Shuyu, I might have already been killed and my primordial spirit extracted. Although I was the one who ultimately killed Gong Shuyu, many in the city witnessed your battle with him. While the karma of killing Gong Shuyu fell on me, it's not difficult for the Gongshu family to trace it back to you, Mr. Lu. In such a situation, do you still want to enter the heavenly origin great world? City Lord, are you worried about my safety in the upper world? Lu Qing laughed. Rest assured, I am confident in my ability to hide my tracks. Since the karma of killing Gong Shuyu does not rest on me, it will not be easy for the Gongshu family to find me. The Kanglan City Lord was slightly puzzled, then remembered Lu Qing's current real cultivation, which even he couldn't discern, and suddenly understood. It seemed Lu Qing had some exotic treasure that could conceal his aura, making it impossible for others to track him. Since Mr. Lu is so confident, it seems I have no need to interfere further. When do you plan to leave? As soon as possible, Lu Qing said immediately. He knew his own business, and others assumed he had an extraordinary background. But he alone was aware of his own limitations. Going up against a top family like the Gongshu family would be like an egg hitting a rock. So leaving as soon as he could would be for the best. The Kanglan City Lord pondered for a moment. In that case, please wait a bit. Activating the transmission array requires a significant amount of mana, and in my current state, it's a bit taxing. I'll send you up once my injuries have healed some more by tomorrow morning. Is that all right? I'll follow your lead, City Lord. Lu Qing naturally had no objections and readily agreed. In the meantime, the two continued to chat casually. Lu Qing took this opportunity to ask the Kanglan City Lord some questions about cultivation. After all, this was his first close contact with a primordial spirit great power, and such a rare chance was not to be missed. The Kanglan City Lord was naturally forthcoming, answering every question with dedication. However, as he answered, he was secretly shocked. Many of the questions Lu Qing asked were very mysterious, touching upon the primordial spirit realm's domain. He found it quite challenging to answer. As Lu Qing's questions gradually involved the space Tao, sweat began to form faintly on the Kanglan City Lord's forehead. Fortunately, at that moment, a voice interrupted their conversation. Uncle! It was Mo Hongyun, who had finally finished handling the Treasure Tower's affairs and came to the City Lord mansion. Hongyun, you've arrived. The Kanglan City Lord sighed with relief and stood up quickly. Listening to the City Lord is more beneficial than 10 years of closed-door cultivation. City Lord, I must seek further guidance from you another time. Lu Qing, however, seemed unsatisfied, feeling as though he had gained a lot. Although he possessed superpowers which made comprehending cultivation techniques easy and quick, as they say, a stone from another mountain can polish jade. Every primordial spirit expert deeply understands the Tao of cultivation. Gaining their cultivation experiences is greatly beneficial for Lu Qing. However, upon hearing this, the Kanglan City Lord's expression stiffened. He then forced a smile. That's quite all right. But he resolved to send Lu Qing to the upper world first thing in the morning, as soon as his mana had recovered. If this young friend kept seeking guidance, his facade might end up being exposed. After all, the questions Lu Qing asked were growing increasingly profound. In the end, they even touched on the space law. This is a domain that only the apex powerhouses who have advanced far on the primordial spirit path can delve into. He was merely at the primordial spirit tribulation stage. How could he possibly provide answers? Yet, His intuition told him that Lu Qing's question was not asked casually. He truly had some comprehension of the space Tao, and the question he raised went straight to the point. What kind of anomaly is this Lu Xiaodao really? Kanglan City Lord couldn't help but grumble in his heart. At the same time, he became more certain that Lu Qing's mentorship background must be extremely astounding. Otherwise, how could someone at the Golden Core realm have an understanding of the space Tao? It must be that his master mentioned it during their usual teachings. From this, one can see that Lu Qing's master must also be a supreme powerhouse who has comprehended the space Tao. What's with the seeking guidance, uncle? What were you discussing with Mr. Lu just now? Mo Hongyun, who had just arrived, asked curiously. It's nothing, I was just consulting the city lord on some doubts about cultivation, and the city lord's profound cultivation and lofty realm were truly impressive. With a few pointers, I had a sudden insight, gaining a lot. Lu Qing praised. Lu Xiaodao, you overpraise. Kanglan City Lord could only continue to smile. I see. Mo Hongyun did not ask further upon realizing it was a cultivation issue. She took out a storage bag and handed it to Lu Qing. Mr. Lu, this is for you. What is this? Lu Qing asked, looking a bit puzzled as he received the storage bag. This is the storage bag Qiu Rong carried. Since you captured him, the spoils rightfully belong to you. Is this appropriate? He was an appraiser at the treasure tower, so the items should belong to the treasure tower. Lu Qing remarked. I don't want anything from that trader, and besides, our treasure tower is not short of such things. It's best you keep it, Mr. Lu. Mo Hongyun said with disdain on her face. Seeing this, Lu Qing said, Then I will humbly accept it. With that, he put away the storage bag. However, in front of the two of them, he did not immediately check what was inside. Seeing Lu Qing accept the items, Mo Hongyun smiled. Mr. Lu, Kanglan City is no longer safe. What are your plans next? I plan to leave the Little Tsang realm and venture into the heavenly origin great world for some experiences and trials, Lu Qing replied. You still want to enter the heavenly origin great world? Mo Hongyun was surprised. One must know that Lu Qing had just killed Gong Shuyu. Although the final blow was added by her uncle, the scene where he blasted Gong Shuyu high into the sky and tormented him was witnessed by countless cultivators. Given the energy of the Gongshu family, it's only a matter of time before they find out these details. In such a situation, Lu Qing still intends to enter the heavenly origin great world? Doesn't he fear being hunted down by the entire Gongshu family? Mo Hongyun expressed her concerns. In terms of concealing my presence, I have some insights, and the heavenly origin great world is vast. It's not so easy for the Gongshu family to find me. Lu Qing smiled. Seeing Lu Qing determined to enter the heavenly origin great world, Mo Hongyun fell into silence. Hongyun, what's the matter? Kanglan City Lord noticed her unusual expression and asked immediately. Mo Hongyun hesitated for a moment. Then with a struggling look, she finally bit her lip. She said to Lu Qing, Mr. Lu, could I ask you for a favor? Oh? What might that be that I could possibly help with? Lu Qing raised an eyebrow and said with some surprise. He had a premonition that what Mo Hongyun wanted to say was not simple. Otherwise, with a primordial spirit realm uncle doting on her, why would she come to seek him instead? This was clearly unusual. I don't know if you can help me, Mr. Lu, but the secret technique I cultivate tells me you are the most likely person who can. Mo Hongyun said. The secret technique you cultivate? Lu Qing thought of the words from the note discovered using his superpower when he first saw Mo Hongyun, which mentioned the life prediction divine power she possessed. Even the nearby Kanglan City Lord had a change in his expression, apparently realizing something. Hongyun, do you mean? The secret technique I cultivate, or perhaps it should be called an innate divine ability. It is a divine skill that can predict the future and sense the way of destiny. Mo Hongyun explained. An innate divine ability that can sense the way of destiny? An expression of surprise appeared on Lu Qing's face. Indeed, my divine ability is said to originate from the depths of the bloodline of the Mo family. though in recent millennia, few Mo family members have been able to awaken such an innate divine ability. By that reasoning, it should be a good thing, so why? Lu Qing was somewhat puzzled. Kanglan City Lord also expressed surprise. Hong Yun, you have awakened the life prediction divine power. Why didn't you tell me? What could you do even if I told you, uncle? Have you forgotten how the Nangong family treated my father and mother back then? Mo Hong Yun coldly laughed in response. Kanglan City Lord was momentarily at a loss. Lu Qing understood that there must be significant underlying issues in this matter. After snapping at her uncle, Mo Hong Yun continued to speak to Lu Qing. Besides the life prediction divine power, I have also awakened another physique, the Xianyin Jade Body. Xianyin Jade Body. Kanglan City Lord was once again shocked upon hearing this. However, under Mo Hong Yun's gaze, he did not dare to speak further. What is the Xianyin Jade Body? Lu Qing asked. The Xianyin Jade Body is said to be a superb furnace physique. Women with such a physique not only possess outstanding cultivation talents. Moreover, if they cultivate certain techniques, they become excellent partners for dual cultivation. Some sinister cultivation techniques may even turn such women into perfect furnaces. A true human treasure. Once the technique is mastered, harvesting them can easily take away the woman's chastity and cultivation, even her magic. At this point, Lu Qing's heart trembled slightly. The information he had gathered only mentioned that the Xianyin Jade Body was an excellent physique for cultivating in attribute cultivation techniques. It did not mention these cruel dual cultivation methods. It seems that while the Xianyin Jade Body is indeed a powerful innate physique, some people have deliberately turned it into a curse. After I awakened this Xianyin Jade Body, my parents were very alarmed. They knew that once my Xianyin Jade Body was discovered, it would undoubtedly attract many people's covetousness. Thus, they always warned me to never reveal this to others. And I have always remembered my parents' teachings, never telling anyone about it. Even my awakening of the life prediction divine power was always hidden. The goal was to minimize my presence within the clan, avoiding attention from others. I silently cultivated, hoping to reach the primordial spirit realm one day. Because it is said that after reaching the primordial spirit realm with the Xianyin Jade Body, one could control this physique at will, never needing to worry about others' covetousness again. Mo Hong Yun continued. I indeed lived quite a peaceful life in the Mo family. With my parents' concealment, no one ever noticed my abnormality. But later, because of some events, my parents suddenly both passed away. Mo Hong Yun said, and at this point, Lu Qing clearly felt Kanglan City Lord's body tremble slightly. On his face, there was an unmistakable look of discomfort. He surmised that their estrangement was likely connected to this issue. Mo Hong Yun obviously noticed the change in her uncle, but she paid no attention. Instead, she continued, after my parents' deaths, if I wanted to continue staying in the Mo family, I needed to take over some of their affairs. I could no longer hide in the deep mansion without showing up as I used to. I began to take over and manage some of the enterprises my parents left behind. Initially, there were no issues as I had already stepped into the Golden Core realm. In the Mo family, that made me a not-so-insignificant expert. However, once, I attended the birthday banquet of a primordial spirit great power with the family's elders. Despite making numerous defensive preparations beforehand, at that banquet, someone still saw through my Xianyin Jade Body at a glance. Who was it? Kanglan City Lord could no longer hold back and asked. Mo Hong Yun glanced at him before slowly saying, that person was known as Miao Yu, a supreme elder of the Joyful Union sect. What, Miao Yu? Kanglan City Lord was greatly shocked, showing a horrified expression upon hearing this name. Who is this Miao Yu? When Lu Qing saw the expression on the Kanglan City Lord's face, he knew that the existence called Miao Yu was probably not an ordinary powerhouse. Miao Yu is a supreme elder of the top sect in the upper realm, the Joyful Union sect, and an extremely powerful figure in the primordial spirit realm, having surpassed 4 tribulations. Mo Hong Yun said slowly, 4 tribulations in the primordial spirit realm. Lu Qing's heart was shaken. Every time one overcomes a primordial spirit tribulation, their strength undergoes a dramatic transformation. A mighty figure who has overcome 4 tribulations could probably defeat him with just a breath. 4 tribulations is something to behold, but this Miao Yu is notoriously lustful, especially fond of collecting women with unique physiques as concubines for dual cultivation. The Kanglan City Lord's face looked grim. Hong Yun, what happened next? It's said that Miao Yu cultivates the supreme cultivation technique of the Joyful Union sect, the Joyful Lust Zen. This cultivation technique is unusually strange and troublesome. Women chosen by him rarely escape his control. What else could happen? Mo Hong Yun said flatly. I am just a mere golden core realm cultivator. Being targeted by a figure who has overcome 4 tribulations leaves me with no choice but to accept my fate, right? Even our Mo family ancestors' cultivation is only at the 4 tribulation stage. How can we possibly oppose a massive entity like the Joyful Union sect? I didn't even know I had caught Miao Yu's eye during that birthday banquet. It wasn't until I returned to the clan that I noticed this thing on me. As she spoke, Mo Hong Yun summoned a trace of mana and drew a line in front of herself. As the fabric flew, her garment at the heart revealed a cut, exposing a patch of white skin. However, Lu Qing and the Kanglan City Lord's attention was not on that. Their eyes were fixed intently on a strange mark on Mo Hong Yun's chest. It was a thumb-sized eerie red curse seal formed of red lines, faintly appearing to move like a living thing, giving off a chilling appearance. It really is the joyful heart-eroding curse. The Kanglan City Lord's face changed drastically upon seeing the strange curse seal. It's rumored to be Miao Yu's signature Taoist skill, very bizarre. Those who fall under this cursed talisman experience gradual erosion of their spirit, ultimately becoming utterly devoted, obedient to his will. Moreover, this cursed talisman is entirely under the spellcaster's control. Anyone afflicted by it, no matter where they flee, can be sensed by him, making escape impossible. Hong Yun, why didn't you tell me earlier that you got hit with the joyful heart-eroding curse? The Kanglan City Lord's face was very troubled. He never imagined that Mo Hong Yun was burdened with such heavy pressure. Even if I told you earlier, what could you do? Can you break this joyful heart-eroding curse? For me? Or are you saying the ancestors of your Nangong family would be willing to help rescue this bastard child? Mo Hong Yun said flatly. The Kanglan City Lord was at a loss. The joyful heart-eroding curse, being a spell set by Miao Yu, he naturally had no power to break it, though his family's ancestors were naturally much more powerful than Miao Yu. But to say they would intervene to help Mo Hong Yun break the curse, he himself could not promise that. Right, your Nangong family couldn't wait for this bastard child to die early. How would they offer their noble hands to save this worthless life of mine? Moreover, years ago, when my parents visited your Nangong family as guests, they ended up dead without clear cause and without any explanation. Since then, I swore in my heart that even if I were to fall into the infinite purgatory, I would never seek help from your Nangong family. Seeing the hatred on Mo Hong Yun's face, the Kanglan City Lord fell silent. He realized that Mo Hong Yun's hatred for their Nangong family might never be resolved. This time, if he hadn't tried to save her desperately, she might not have even acknowledged him as her uncle. But he was still worried about the safety of this niece of his. He couldn't help but say, "Have you tried seeking your Mo family ancestors for help? He, like you, is also a powerful figure who has overcome 4 tribulations. He should have a way. You've awakened the life prediction divine power, and you're almost guaranteed to step into the primordial spirit realm in the future. The Mo family ancestor knows this. He can't possibly not save you. Do you think I haven't thought of that?" Mo Hong Yun sneered. But soon after I was cursed with the joyful heart-eroding curse, the Joyful Union sect sent a wedding invitation stating that Miao Yu wanted to take me as a concubine. If I rebelled, my Mo family would never have a place to stand in the upper realm again. The power of the Joyful Union sect is comparable to your 36 upper clans. Just Miao Yu alone is challenging for the Mo family to withstand, let alone other, even more powerful supreme elders. Do you think the Mo family would risk offending the colossal Joyful Union sect for a parentless, alone, mere golden core realm like me? Not to mention seeking help. I didn't even dare to reveal that I awakened the life prediction divine power and the Shenin jade body. If the Mo family knew, to keep the family's innate divine power a secret. The first thought would not be to rescue me, but to eliminate me, wouldn't it? The Kanglan City Lord fell silent again. Lu Qing was also somewhat apprehensive. According to Mo Hongyun's previous explanation, certain dual cultivation methods could take away both the Shenin jade body's virtue, cultivation, and divine skills. If the Mo family knew that Mo Hongyun awakened both the Shenin jade body and the life prediction divine power, to protect the family's innate divine power's secret, they might indeed secretly eliminate Mo Hongyun. Who knows? I have a question. Lu Qing thought for a moment and said, since this joyful heart-eroding curse is so powerful, why would the Tower Master appear in Kanglan City? Didn't Miao Yu prevent you? This was something Lu Qing was very puzzled about. As far as he knew, Mo Hongyun had been operating the treasure tower in Kanglan City for decades. Considering the dominance of the supreme Miao Yu, how could he possibly allow Mo Hongyun to stay here for so long? In other words, why hadn't Mo Hongyun's mind been corroded by the joyful heart-eroding curse? All these years, that old thing naturally didn't want me to come down to the Little Tsang realm. Mo Hongyun said with hatred on her face. The reason I was able to come down was that I exchanged my life for it. The reason the old man wanted to take me as a concubine was nothing more than valuing my Shenin jade body and my bloodline awakening life prediction divine power. But he is a primordial spirit great power of 4 tribulations, and I'm only at the golden core realm. Not only is my cultivation low, but even my life prediction divine power, because of years of keeping a low profile, has not been cultivated to a very high realm. Even if he takes away my red pill, the benefits he gains won't be great. His original plan was to take me to the Joyful Union sect. Wait until I step into the primordial spirit realm, and cultivate my life prediction divine power to great success before taking everything from me. But I especially couldn't let him have his way. Years ago, I spent a century of lifespan, deducing the only opportunity that could let me break free of fate's shackles, which turned out to be in Kanglan City. I immediately threatened my life, forcing the supreme Miao Yu, that old man, to give me 50 years of freedom. If he did not agree, I would instantly self-destruct my golden core so that he gets nothing. And if he agreed to give me 50 years, during these 50 years, I would strive to cultivate and comprehend divine skills. When the time comes, I would offer everything to him. The old man waited out and ultimately agreed to my request, allowing me to descend to this realm. After all, with the joyful heart-eroding curse there, he didn't worry that I would escape. Because as soon as I left the Little Tsang realm, he would immediately sense it. With his vast divine skills, wanting to capture me back would be a breeze. Is that so? After hearing this, Lu Qing's eyes revealed a hint of sympathy. He hadn't expected that the Treasure Tower Master, who was infinitely prominent in Kanglan City and admired and feared by countless cultivators, was actually bearing such a tragic fate behind the scenes. As for the Kanglan City Lord, that goes without saying. For so long, he hadn't known that his dear niece was under such immense pressure. He wanted to say something, opened his mouth, but found that he couldn't say anything. Tower Master, according to your words, do you think that the person who can help you free yourself from all this would be me? Lu Qing asked. Indeed, years ago I spent a century of lifespan activating my bloodline power. The fate indication I received was that the opportunity that can help me break free from the shackles of fate lies in Kanglan City. The reason I established the treasure tower was to have a suitable reason to come into contact with more people in Kanglan City. But over all these years, I have seen countless cultivators. Yet not a single person could give any response to my life prediction divine power. Until a few days ago when I met Mr. Lu. Mo Hongyun paused and then continued. After interacting with you, Mr. Lu, my life prediction divine power began to fluctuate, giving me an omen. From that moment on, I knew the opportunity to break free from fate's shackles should lie in you. Isn't Tower Master seeing me in too high a regard? Lu Qing shook his head and said, I'm just a mere golden core realm cultivator. How could I possibly counter the divine means of a primordial spirit great power of four tribulations? Considering the supreme Miao Yu's divine skill might, it could be that with just a breath, I'd be rendered to ashes. Mo Hongyun froze upon hearing Lu Qing's words. After a while, she spoke arduously. Mr. Lu, is there truly no way to help Hongyun? I have no ability to counter the supreme Miao Yu, not to mention four tribulations primordial spirit great power. Even against a newly entered primordial spirit realm great power, I'm completely outmatched, Lu Qing replied sincerely. How could it be? Upon hearing Lu Qing's answer once again, Mo Hongyun's face showed despair. She thought that this time she could finally rid herself of the heavy shadow always pressing upon her, especially after witnessing Lu Qing crush Gong Shuyu with absolute strength, which gave her even more hope. Yet now Lu Qing said he is powerless, plunging Mo Hongyun into despair once more. And this despair was greater than ever before, because the thin hope she deduced with a century of lifespan had also shattered. Lu Xiaodao, is there really no way? As long as you can help Hongyun, I can give anything, Kanglan City Lord said anxiously. Looking at Mo Hongyun's nearly lifeless eyes, Lu Qing felt a pang of compassion. Although he very much wanted to help her, he indeed lacked the power capable of countering a four tribulations primordial spirit great power. Let alone, there is yet a monstrous supreme power behind the adversary. So he shook his head. Apologies, Tower Master. My abilities are limited. I'm afraid I truly can't help you. Perhaps you should find a way to escape this little Tsong realm. Escape? Where can I escape to? Mo Hongyun gave a forlorn smile. I have joyful heart-eroding curse within me. As soon as I leave the little Tsong realm, that supreme elder would immediately sense it. Even with his divine skill power, he doesn't need to come personally. Just casting the curse seal from afar would suffice to make my life worse than death. In her despair, Mo Hongyun referred to the Supreme Elder without any courtesy, directly calling him an old dog. Kanglan City Lord was also grieved upon seeing her, deeply hating his own weakness for being unable to help his sister's sole orphan. Yet upon hearing Mo Hongyun's words, Lu Qing's expression shifted. So, Tower Master, your greatest distress now is actually the joyful heart-eroding curse on your heart, isn't it? What do you mean? Mo Hongyun looked at Lu Qing in confusion, not understanding his words for a moment. However, Lu Qing already had an inkling of something. He stroked his chin. If that's the case, I can give it a try, Tower Master. Forgive my rudeness. Would you allow me to closely examine the curse seal on your heart? It was then Mo Hongyun finally reacted. Mr. Lu, have you thought of a solution? Just some thoughts. Please don't hold too much hope, Tower Master. Lu Qing first let her prepare mentally, so that in case he couldn't think of a way later, she wouldn't be even more disappointed. Although saying that, Mo Hongyun's heart reignited with a spark of hope. She said frankly, how could it be worse than now? Mr. Lu, feel free to take a look. For us cultivators, the physical body is but a mere external appearance. Then forgive my impropriety. Lu Qing immediately activated his superpower, seriously looking at the curse seal on Mo Hongyun's heart. The joyful heart-eroding curse was indeed a curse seal laid down by a primordial spirit great power of four tribulations. With Lu Qing's current power, upon activating the superpower, even with high-level spiritual artifacts, he could discern information in just over a dozen breaths. But the curse seal on Mo Hongyun's heart took several dozen breaths before a rich purple superpower light emerged. Several string-like pieces of information floated out. Joyful heart-eroding curse seal. A curse seal personally cast and planted by the Supreme Miao Yu. This curse seal can corrode and control the heart. Extremely sinister. Whoever bears this curse seal, as if caught in a nightmare, life and death at another's mercy, even if escaping to the ends of the earth, is difficult to escape the caster's control. The Supreme Miao Yu is one of the supreme elders of the Joyful Union sect, a 4 tribulations primordial spirit great power, with high cultivation realm and powerful Taoist magic divine skills. Found inheritance. Download simulation. Lu Qing carefully read the floating string-like information. The previous parts he wasn't too concerned about, as they matched what Mo Hongyun had described. Only upon seeing the last piece of information did his eyes reveal a hint of joy. This was the piece of information he had been waiting for. Looking at the prompt in the string without hesitation, Lu Qing chose to download the simulation. Beginning download, current progress 1%, 2%, 3%, 98%, 99%, 100%. Download complete. Would you like to start the simulation? Lu Qing chose to simulate. Starting simulation, current progress 1%, 2%, 3%, 98%, 99%, 100%. Simulation complete. Would you like to begin learning? After seeing the prompt from the superpower, Lu Qing did not immediately choose to learn. Instead, he withdrew his gaze and straightened up. Mr. Lu, how is it? Mo Hongyun was wondering in her heart. Although she saw Lu Qing continuously staring at the cursed seal on her chest, she did not sense any other actions from him aside from that. He did not touch the curse seal, nor did he use divine soul power to inspect the condition of the curse seal. Now, seeing him stand up, she couldn't help but ask. I haven't thought of a solution yet, but I do have some clues. However, I need more time to comprehend, Lu Qing replied. For the time being, please do not disturb me. You have a clue? Hearing this, Mo Hongyun's eyes lit up with incomparable delight. During her interactions with Lu Qing over these days, although she still found him as mysterious as mist, she could vaguely gauge his temperament. Knowing that he usually doesn't boast, if he says he has a clue, it must be true. The Kanglan City Lord by the side also revealed a joyful expression upon hearing these words. Lu Qing nodded and then sat cross-legged, closed his eyes, and began to choose the learning state of his superpower. The next moment, a vast amount of insight regarding the joyful heart-eroding curse surged from the depths of his mind. Lu Qing quickly absorbed this insightful information. His understanding of the Taoist skill joyful heart-eroding curse was also rapidly advancing at an astonishing pace. Is this sudden enlightenment? So easily entering a state of sudden enlightenment. The Kanglan City Lord watched as an unusual aura emanated from Lu Qing's body, and his eyes widened abruptly. His eyes showed a look of disbelief. He could tell that Lu Qing seemed to be in a state of sudden enlightenment. But is it so easy to enter a state of sudden enlightenment? One should know that even someone like him in the primordial spirit realm requires long-term accumulation to reach such a state, after which it may happen. Yet Lu Qing merely meditated and comprehended to effortlessly achieve sudden enlightenment. How could this not shock the Kanglan City Lord? What kind of monster is this Lu Xiaodao? Such a person could probably be at the core Taoist level. A demon-level unparalleled talent in that immortal Tao sacred land. The Kanglan City Lord found Lu Qing's origins increasingly mysterious in his heart. Mo Hongyun, on the other hand, did not see that Lu Qing was in a state of sudden enlightenment. Her cultivation level wasn't quite there yet. However, she could see that Lu Qing was indeed trying hard to help her, and a glimmer of hope reignited in her eyes. She had witnessed Lu Qing's wonders many times. She only hoped that this time, he could also perform another miracle and save her from this endless abyss. Under the watchful eyes of the two, Lu Qing's acceptance of the insightful information came to an end. As he received the final piece of insightful information, a realization rose in his heart. So that's it. This joyful heart-eroding curse is formed by runes transformed from primordial spirit power, creating a curse seal. In essence, it's not much different from an array. However, because it's formed by primordial spirit power, it can be everlasting. Like a living thing, it can entangle with the target's spirit, which makes it particularly troublesome. After receiving all the insightful information from his mind, Lu Qing finally understood the foundation of the joyful heart-eroding curse. Even its casting process and the composition of primordial spirit runes were utterly clear to him. One could say that the joyful heart-eroding curse no longer held any secrets in his eyes. However, understanding is one thing, but how to break the curse for Mo Hongyun is another. The joyful heart-eroding curse was, after all, a curse seal personally cast by a four-tribulation primordial spirit great power. The primordial spirit power of a four-tribulation primordial spirit great power is immensely formidable. Even if the primordial spirit power forming this curse seal is just a tiny fraction of Miao Yu's primordial spirit, it is not something that Lu Qing in the Golden Core realm can easily dissolve. Direct action was obviously not an option. To break this curse seal, he needed to find another method. Without opening his eyes, Lu Qing continued to remain in the superpower's learning state. He began to deduce how he could most securely break the curse seal. As time passed slowly, relying on the wonders of the superpower, Lu Qing continually comprehended and deduced. His understanding of the joyful heart-eroding curse grew deeper and deeper. In the end, an insight naturally rose in his heart. He had completely mastered the Taoist skill, joyful heart-eroding curse. If he were to cast it, it certainly wouldn't be as powerful as Miao Yu's, but the level of intricacy might be comparable. Having mastered the joyful heart-eroding curse, Lu Qing finally had some clues on how to break the curse. In essence, the joyful heart-eroding curse is composed of runes simulated by primordial spirit power, which also falls within the scope of the rune path. And now, Lu Qing could be considered a master in the rune array path. Looking for a breaking method from within is not impossible. Following this line of thinking, Lu Qing continued to deduce. Isn't this Lu Xiaodao's sudden enlightenment lasting a bit too long? Watching Lu Qing still meditating with closed eyes, enveloped in an unusual Taoist charm that lingered without dispersing, the gaze of the Kanglan City Lord grew increasingly shocked. Because Lu Qing's time in sudden enlightenment was simply too long. For the average cultivator, even if one accumulates knowledge and gets lucky to enter a state of sudden enlightenment, it typically doesn't last very long. If it lasts for a quarter or half an hour, it's already considered quite remarkable. Yet Lu Qing had been in sudden enlightenment for almost an hour, and still hadn't awakened. He couldn't imagine how Lu Qing was comprehending to maintain such a long state of enlightenment. This one's cultivation talent is truly beyond imagination. No wonder that Gong Shu Yu was completely no match for him. How could a mere direct lineage Taoist of a noble family compare with such a devilish monster? The Kanglan City Lord couldn't help but exclaim in his heart. He became more convinced that Lu Qing must come from an extremely extraordinary cultivation holy land. Perhaps it was even one of those legendary mysterious lands, which their Nangong family had to look up to. Meanwhile, Mo Hongyun, observing Lu Qing continuously meditating, felt her hope growing larger. The longer Lu Qing comprehended, the more likely it indicated he had truly found a way. After patiently waiting for another quarter of an hour, Lu Qing finally opened his eyes. In his eyes was a hint of fatigue. Sustaining intense mental effort to deduce Taoist skills at the primordial spirit realm level was quite pressure-laden, even for him. Fortunately, his foundation was exceptionally deep, and his perfect golden core had various miraculous applications. With just a slight operation, his depleted spirit and heart power began to recover rapidly. Lu Xiaodao, how was it? Seeing Lu Qing awaken, the Kanglan City Lord quickly asked. Fortunately, the mission wasn't failed. I barely thought of a way, but whether it's feasible still needs to be tried. Lu Qing smiled and said, Have you really come up with a solution? Mo Hongyun was stunned. The sudden surprise made her a bit incredulous. We still have to try it to know, and it's not necessarily effective. And if the curse seal is triggered, it might alarm that Miao Yu Venerable. Tower Master, you should be mentally prepared. Lu Qing said solemnly. Just try it. At worst, it's only death. Nothing could possibly get worse. Mo Hongyun said firmly, with determination gleaming in her eyes. This was the only time she had seen hope in so many years. If it didn't work this time, it would prove her destiny was thus, and it might be better to simply end it all. It's not that severe. Lu Qing laughed slightly. Even if we can't completely eradicate the joyful heart-eroding curse, it won't cost you your life, Tower Master. With Lu Qing's current comprehension of the joyful heart-eroding curse, he was confident about this much. However, I still need some preparation, so please wait a moment, Tower Master, and City Lord. I need some high-quality spirit jade for refining some items. Would that be possible? Of course. I'll have someone fetch them from the storage immediately. The Kanglan City Lord responded eagerly. On his orders, the elderly servant quickly retrieved a jade box from the storeroom and handed it to Lu Qing. Lu Qing opened it to find that inside were hundreds of high-quality spirit jade pieces, all of which were top-grade spirit jade. Feel free to use them, Lu Xiaodao. If they're not enough, I'll have more fetched. I won't need quite so many. Lu Qing inwardly admired. Indeed, as the lord of a city, the Kanglan City Lord had vast wealth, casually bringing out hundreds of top-grade spirit jade pieces. He took a piece of spirit jade, which floated in front of him. With a focused mind, he began to sketch mysterious runes in the void, embedding them into the spirit jade. Void Talisman. This Lu Xiaodao actually has such proficiency in the rune path. The Kanglan City Lord, observing this scene, was slightly shaken in his heart. Recently, he had been in seclusion within the City Lord mansion, leaving city affairs to be managed by the steward. Had it not been for the demonic qi awakening him, he might not have arrived at the treasure tower in time. Therefore, he wasn't very aware of the tumultuous events in the city over the past month. Nor did he know that Lu Qing was a talisman master. Lu Qing's speed in refining jade talismans was astonishingly fast. According to what the Kanglan City Lord said, the people of the Gongsu family might descend tomorrow. Time was of the essence, so he couldn't hold back. The only thing he didn't use was the divine mind technique. Otherwise, he refined talismans as fast as possible. One jade talisman after another was refined speedily by Lu Qing. The speed left the Kanglan City Lord somewhat stunned. He had never seen anyone refine talismans so quickly. An hour later, Lu Qing had refined a total of 108 jade talismans before stopping. It was thanks to his incomparably rare perfect golden core, with its extraordinarily efficient recovery abilities, that he could manage to refine so many jade talismans at once. After refining the jade talismans, Lu Qing didn't take a rest. He took out a short sword, exhibiting his movement technique, stepping the heavenly gang step. With the short sword in hand, like a dragon or snake, he sketched runes on the jade bricks of the ground. Soon, a large complex and mysterious array was engraved by him. Tower Master, please take your place at the center of the array. After engraving the array, Lu Qing said solemnly. Mo Hongyun followed the instruction, stepping into the center of the array and sat down. At that moment, her confidence in Lu Qing surged to unprecedented levels. After all, the setup Lu Qing presented clearly indicated a meticulously comprehensive preparation. Without needing to mention others, just the array beneath her feet, she couldn't understand. Only perceiving it as extremely mysterious, entirely unlike a golden core realm level array. Seeing Mo Hongyun seated as instructed, Lu Qing waved his hand. The 108 jade talismans he had refined previously flew up, embedding themselves into the array's respective nodes. Tower Master, this array, which I specially arranged, will initiate shortly, isolating and suppressing the curse seal within you. This way, when we break the curse later, that Miao Yu Venerable may not detect the changes here immediately. Lu Qing explained. Yes. Mo Hongyun lightly nodded. Then, please focus your heart and spirit, and gather your concentration. When we begin breaking the curse, there may be considerable pain. Please try to endure. Lu Qing instructed again. You just proceed. You need not worry about me. Mo Hongyun said firmly. She then followed Lu Qing's instructions, beginning to concentrate, preparing for what was to come. City Lord, regardless of what happens next, please don't let anyone in to disturb us. Rest assured, without my permission, no one can enter this room. The Kanglan City Lord replied with great confidence. Lu Qing nodded. Once Mo Hongyun had properly prepared herself, He activated the spell in his hand, sending a strand of intention to the array beneath his feet. In the next moment, the 108 jade talismans on the array flickered slightly, and a formation light screen suddenly lit up, enveloping both him and Mo Hongyun. As the formation light screen lit up, the Kanglan City Lord outside the array suddenly felt he had lost the spiritual sense of Lu Qing and Mo Hongyun. Though the two were right before his eyes in his perception, it was as if they were in a different spatial layer. He could see their figures but couldn't sense their essence at all. Does this array have the ability to shield essence and divide space? A look of astonishment appeared in the Kanglan City Lord's eyes. The Space Dao is generally only touched upon by the top primordial spirit great power who have walked very far on the path of the primordial spirit realm. And Lu Qing, who was only at the Golden Core realm, had set up an array that faintly involved the space law. How astonishing was this? The Kanglan City Lord recalled the previous questions posed by Lu Qing to him. Suddenly, an incredible thought surfaced in his mind, which he dared not believe. Could it be that the reason Lu Xiaodao asked such questions was not something he heard from his mentor, but rather that he truly touched upon the space law? Amidst the shock in the Kanglan City Lord's eyes, Lu Qing within the array finally began to make his move. He stepped upon two crucial array nodes beneath him, and with the array's boost, activated his heart and spirit. An immeasurably pure divine soul power fell upon the strange curse seal on Mo Hongyun's heart. Under this stimulus, the strange curse seal, which had been quivering like a living thing, reacted immediately. Not only did it begin twisting violently, but a voice filled with grandeur and difficult to distinguish as male or female. It suddenly emitted from within the curse seal. Who is it, so bold as to dare touch the curse seal placed by this venerable? It's Miao Yushang Zun. As soon as this voice emerged, the expressions of Mo Hongyun and the Kanglan City Lord immediately changed. This wasn't a real voice, but a fluctuation of divine soul. They instantly understood that indeed, the joyful heart-eroding curse contained a strand of the divine soul consciousness of Miao Yushang Zun. Tower Master, close your five senses. Guard your spirit light at all costs unless I call upon you. Do not act rashly. Only Lu Qing's expression remained unchanged, and he immediately commanded. Upon hearing this, Mo Hongyun dared not hesitate and immediately closed her five senses, concentrating all her spirit on guarding that glimmer of spirit light in her heart and spirit. She knew that since the curse seal carried a trace of Miao Yushang Zun's primordial spirit will, the matters that followed were beyond her assistance. Everything would rely entirely on Lu Qing. Seeing Mo Hongyun beginning to guard her heart and spirit, Lu Qing felt assured, and then began to focus on the strange curse seal on her chest. After deducing and comprehending, he was already thoroughly familiar with the joyful heart-eroding curse, and the appearance of Miao Yushang Zun was of no surprise to him. The curse seal on Mo Hongyun's chest was originally formed by the power of Miao Yushang Zun's primordial spirit, so leaving a trace of consciousness was normal. However, he knew that this trace of consciousness within the curse seal was a segregated part. And now, after being suppressed and isolated by the array, it's temporarily unable to communicate with its main body. This was the best method Lu Qing arrived at after deducing. To sever the joyful heart-eroding curse, the first step was to isolate the connection between the curse seal and Miao Yushang Zun. This was not only to prevent Miao Yushang Zun from discovering anything amiss and transmitting power through the curse seal, but also to temporarily shield his control over the curse seal so as not to harm Mo Hongyun. Although severing the link would likely alarm Miao Yushang Zun. Fortunately, the opponent was in the heavenly origin great world. According to the Kanglan City Lord, for a cultivator from the upper world to descend is not easy. Even for a primordial spirit great power, unless one has a deep understanding of Space Dao and has comprehended the boundary-breaking teleportation divine power. Otherwise, they need to use the transmission array to descend into Little Tsong realm. After all, the boundary membrane of the great world is not trivial. Weaker primordial spirit great powers cannot cross that barrier. Moreover, he confirmed with the Kanglan City Lord that the Joyful Union sect had not set up a dedicated transmission array in Little Tsong realm. So even if Miao Yushang Zun notices something is amiss, Descending to Little Tsang realm would require some time. Lu Qing's goal was to use this time discrepancy to completely resolve and remove the curse seal from Mo Hongyun. Facing that authoritative voice, Lu Qing paid no attention but remained stern and continuously formed complex seal formations. The curse seal at hand only contained a wisp of Miao Yushang Zun's consciousness. But even a trace of a Four Calamities primordial spirit great powers consciousness was something he dared not underestimate in the slightest. For at such a level of strength, the divine skills possessed were beyond imagination. As Lu Qing continued forming the seals, the array beneath his feet also manifested numerous mysterious runes. Eventually, it too formed a rune magic seal, hovering in front of Mo Hongyun's chest. It emitted waves of light, aiming to suppress the curse seal on Mo Hongyun's chest. Outside the array, the Kanglan City Lord was astonished to find the rune magic seal drawn by Lu Qing using the array power remarkably resembled the curse seal on Mo Hongyun's chest. The difference was that the curse seal on Mo Hongyun's chest was red and continuously writhing and flowing, appearing strange and evil, whereas the rune magic seal condensed with the power of the array by Lu Qing emitted a dignified and grand aura, with an utterly opposite intent. How dare you, insignificant Golden Core realm, be disrespectful to this esteemed self? The consciousness of Miao Yushang Zun within the joyful heart-eroding curse became furious upon seeing Lu Qing ignoring its admonition and attempting to suppress it. The curse seal on Mo Hongyun's chest twisted, and a figure with a blurred face started to emerge. Not good. Miao Yushang Zun is attempting to manifest a Dharma body. The Kanglan City Lord was shocked to see this scene. A primordial spirit great power, upon stepping into the middle stage of primordial spirit, having undergone 4 primordial spirit tribulations. The primordial spirit transforms, gaining many mysteries. Their magic and divine skills are greatly enhanced. Among these abilities is the separation of the primordial spirit, manifesting a Dharma body. Previously, Gongshu Yu's Guardian Jade Talisman contained a separated spirit of a Four Calamities primordial spirit. He hadn't expected the curse seal on Mo Hongyun's chest to be the same. Even though this separated spirit seemed not as formidable as the one in Gongshu Yu's Guardian Jade Talisman. But now, in his grievously wounded state, he feared he could no longer resist. Manifest a Dharma body? That's exactly what I was waiting for. With a cold look in his eyes, Lu Qing changed the seal formation in his hand. The array beneath his feet suddenly radiated brilliance, and the 108 jade talismans embedded within it emitted strong fluctuations, channeling into the condensed rune magic seal. With the aid of the array power, the potency of the rune magic seal surged sharply. The just manifested Dharma body of Miao Yushang Zun hadn't even acted before being forcibly suppressed right then and there. He actually managed to suppress the separated Dharma body of Miao Yushang Zun? The Kanglan City Lord was utterly astonished at this sight. He sensed that the separated Dharma body of Miao Yushang Zun, though not overwhelmingly powerful, was only at the initial level of the primordial spirit realm. But it should be far beyond what the Golden Core realm can handle. However, with the support of the array, Lu Qing surprisingly managed to temporarily suppress it. This was like watching a rabbit suddenly overturn an elephant. Even though the Kanglan City Lord had already esteemed Lu Qing highly enough, at this moment, he still felt immensely shocked. "Aunt, how dare you?" Miao Yu was startled and even more angered upon realizing that he was temporarily restrained by just a Golden Core realm individual. When had he ever been so offended? Even though he was but a strand of primordial spirit will now, he still felt an unprecedented insult. "Aunt, you deserve death." The avatar of Miao Yu's separated consciousness brimmed with flames of fury, as if about to incinerate the void in front of him. He slowly raised a hand, and immense power gathered at his fingertip, ready to point at Lu Qing and crush this audacious Golden Core realm ant. "Did I give you permission to move?" However, just as Miao Yu raised his hand, Lu Qing spoke coldly. Then, with a slight movement of his mind, the light from the array beneath his feet brightened once more, and Miao Yu's avatar was again bound by an invisible suppressive force. That finger froze in place, unable to move forward. What? This time, Miao Yu was genuinely surprised. What kind of array is this that can suppress him even when he almost exerted his full strength with that strand of consciousness? Moreover, what surprised him even more was that this array seemed to have some kind of restraining power against him. He couldn't borrow power from his true self, and even the cursed seal that his consciousness depended on was suppressed. After suffering several setbacks, Miao Yu finally understood that the Golden Core Realm ant in front of him was quite peculiar. His mind calmed down, observing the array below and the rune magic seal before him that greatly suppressed him. Upon closer look, his heart trembled yet again, because the rune magic seal in front of him gave him a very familiar feeling. After serious observation, he suddenly realized that it was the rune structure of his successful Taoist skill, the joyful heart-eroding curse. But what he found unbelievable was that the rune magic seal before him seemed to be several degrees more exquisite than the curse seal formed by his own joyful heart-eroding curse. How is this possible? Upon realizing this, Miao Yu felt a sense of absurdity. The joyful heart-eroding curse was his self-created Taoist skill. How could anyone be more proficient with it than he? Boy, who are you really? And how do you know my joyful heart-eroding curse? Miao Yu's gaze fell on Lu Qing. This Golden Core Realm ant finally piqued his interest. Do you think you're qualified to question me now? Lu Qing looked at Miao Yu's avatar with a smirk. A mere strand of primordial spirit consciousness, yet you're acting so high and mighty? You're only relying on the advantage of the array to temporarily suppress me. Do you really think I can't break free and deal with you? Miao Yu said lightly. Indeed, I plan to use this array to suppress and eradicate your strand of consciousness. Lu Qing shouted coldly. This array consists of 108 Golden Core level top-grade talismans, specifically set for you. If you have the ability, break free and show me. With that, Lu Qing changed his spell, and the light from the array beneath him burst out brightly. He finally unleashed the full power of the entire array. From the 108 Golden Core level top-grade talismans, a mysterious rune simultaneously flew out and entered the rune magic seal. The next moment, the rune magic seal seemed to have consumed a great tonic, swelling and cracking open to swallow Miao Yu's avatar entirely. After trapping Miao Yu's avatar, Lu Qing wasted no time. Taking advantage of the opportunity, he spread his fingers, outlining numerous runes that flew toward the strange curse seal on Mo Hongyun's chest. Miao Yu's separated consciousness was trapped by Lu Qing using the rune magic seal. With no one to manage it, the strange curse seal could not resist the invasion of Lu Qing's runes. The runes flew in like birds returning to their nest, constantly entering the strange curse seal. Every rune that went in, the color of the strange curse seal faded slightly. It was as if those runes could dissolve the power of the curse seal. With a large number of runes entering, the color of the strange curse seal quickly faded. Finally, when the once vivid red left only a hint of pink, Lu Qing bent his hand into a claw and grasped at the void. With the support of the array power, the already very dim strange curse seal was seized in this manner, like a dark red heart twisting and throbbing in midair, constantly struggling. It even attempted to fly towards the rune magic seal that imprisoned Miao Yu's avatar. But how could Lu Qing let it succeed? Just as the strange curse seal was extracted, he shifted his focus, and an ancient small cauldron flew out from his neck, swallowing it. Yan, leave it to me. Inside the leaving fire tripod, Yan shouted excitedly. Then a roar echoed throughout the spiritual artifact space. Yan had transformed into the original form of the Qi Dragon, accompanied by countless transparent Nanming leaving fire, entwining the strange curse seal for a full refinement. Although the strange curse seal was formed by a strand of primordial spirit power of a four-tribulation great power, once cut off from the true body, with its consciousness still sealed outside, its inherently strong nature could not withstand the Nanming leaving fire's burning and refinement within the middle-grade spiritual device, the leaving fire tripod. Like snow in the scorching sun, it quickly dissolved, eventually being completely refined to nothing. With the strange curse seal refined to nothing, Mo Hongyun, who had been focusing and diligently protecting her heart and spirit with no knowledge of the outside world's happenings, let out a moan, then felt immensely relieved. It was as if an enormous mountain was suddenly removed from her heart and spirit. Yet she remembered Lu Qing's instructions and did not open her eyes, still fully defending her spiritual light. "Aunt, how dare you?" At the same time, Miao Yu's avatar, trapped within the rune magic seal, realized something and roared suddenly. His heart filled with incredulity. Everything seemed to be calculated beforehand by this boy in front of him. Every move he made seemed predicted by him. Step by step, he was trapped. Now even the joyful heart-eroding curse planted on Mo Hongyun had been removed by him. That woman was part of his long-planned scheme, related to his future step into the 5th primordial spirit tribulation, or even the 6th. And now it was destroyed by Lu Qing, a mere golden core realm individual. For a moment, Miao Yu's heart was filled with endless rage. "Don't worry, I'm coming to deal with you now." Lu Qing naturally sensed Miao Yu's fury. But why would he fear it? Since the curse seal on Mo Hongyun was resolved, he could finally attack Miao Yu's consciousness without apprehension. "Old fellow, let's see how long your strand of consciousness can withstand my array's refinement." Lu Qing's face turned cold and stern. He naturally had no mercy for people like Miao Yu, who casually took lives and cultivation of others. Though his power was still insufficient and he was far from being a match for this old fellow, he was determined to eradicate this strand of consciousness. With a flick of his hand and spell incantation, the array beneath him shone brightly, and even behind Lu Qing, the virtual shadow of an ancient big cauldron emerged, augmenting the array. With multiple techniques employed, the power of the rune magic seal surged once again. Though his power was still small, far from being a match for this old fellow. But this strand of separated consciousness he was determined to annihilate. With a flick of his hand through incantations, the array beneath his feet emitted dazzling light, and behind Lu Qing, the shadow of an ancient big cauldron emerged, enhancing the array. Multiple tactics deployed, the power of the rune magic seal surged once more. "At that time, I will make your life worse than death. You will spend eternity in the infinite purgatory." With this cold and indifferent threat, the divine incarnation of Miao Yu finally disintegrated and collapsed. Under the continuous refinement of the rune magic seal, it ultimately turned into nothingness. Only that chill seemed to still linger in the hall. However, facing the final threat from Miao Yu, Lu Qing's expression didn't change at all. When he decided to help Mo Hongyun break the curse, he was destined to offend this primordial spirit of 4 calamities. So he didn't take this threat seriously at all. To him, it was nothing more than the impotent rage of this divine incarnation of Miao Yu. Moreover, this strand of split consciousness was isolated by him with an array, severing its link to the true body. Whether Miao Yu's true body can learn what happened here is another matter. Even if, taking a step back, the divine skills of a primordial spirit of 4 calamities are really beyond Lu Qing's imagination. Even if the split consciousness here perishes, and some information can be transmitted back to the true body, Lu Qing remains unafraid. Having condensed a perfect golden core, he possesses the ability to change his aura. Even the fluctuation of his divine soul can be altered. At that time, even if he stood right in front of Miao Yu, the other party might not be able to recognize him. It was with this confidence that Lu Qing was willing to help Mo Hongyun break the curse. Otherwise, why would he provoke such a formidable foe without any reason? Using his superpower to carefully examine, he confirmed that this strand of Miao Yu's split consciousness had indeed completely vanished. Only then did Lu Qing pinch a spell, and the giant rune magic seal, towering several people high, trembled slightly before splitting into countless runes, falling back into the array. The array formation light screen, which had been enveloping the surroundings, was also removed, fading back into the array. After doing all this, Lu Qing then used divine soul transmission to start calling the Mo Hongyun who had closed her 5 senses. Outside the array, the Kanglan city lord was already dumbfounded. Filled with shock, he watched the scene unfolding before his eyes. He actually refined Miao Yu's divine incarnation, completely extinguishing even the split consciousness? The Kanglan City Lord found it hard to believe. Even the smallest split consciousness of a primordial spirit great power should not be something a Golden Core realm practitioner could handle. However, just now he had witnessed Miao Yu's split consciousness being directly suppressed and refined by Lu Qing. From start to finish, Miao Yu couldn't put up a proper resistance and was already scattered and fully dissipated. Every step was calculated so precisely by Lu Qing, it was unbelievably effortless. Tower Master, it's done. You can return with your heart and spirit. In the depths of her mind, Mo Hongyun, who was fully safeguarding her spirit light, suddenly heard Lu Qing's voice echoing within her. Is that Mr. Lu's voice? Did he succeed? A burst of joy surged in Mo Hongyun's heart, and recalling her sudden sense of relief on her divine soul just now, she didn't hesitate and immediately returned with her heart and spirit to regain control of her physical body. After returning to her physical body, Mo Hongyun immediately felt a difference. A sense of complete integration and effortless ease filled her heart. Looking down, she found that the ominous red curse mark at her heart, which had haunted her with countless painful memories like a nightmare, had completely disappeared, leaving no trace. Mr. Lu, what is this? Mo Hongyun stared blankly at her heart, asking dazedly. Hongyun, your joyful heart-eroding curse has been completely lifted by Lu Xiaodao. Even the split consciousness of Miao Yu was refined and extinguished by him. The Kanglan City Lord quickly said. Mo Hongyun raised her head sharply, looking at Lu Qing. Lu Qing nodded slightly and smiled. Tower Master, you can rest assured from now on. The joyful heart-eroding curse is broken, and Miao Yu can no longer whimsically sense your whereabouts or control your fate. Am I finally liberated? Receiving Lu Qing's confirmation, Mo Hongyun was momentarily lost, murmuring. The shackles of destiny that had bound her, leaving her utterly despairing for so many years, were finally shattered. The first feeling Mo Hongyun experienced was not ecstasy, but rather a sense of bewilderment. After a long moment of being dazed, Mo Hongyun suddenly knelt with a thud, bowing deeply to Lu Qing. Thank you, Mr. Lu, for saving my life. This immense grace and virtue, I will never forget. Tower Master, please rise. There's no need for such grand gestures. Lu Qing gently flicked his hand, and an invisible force lifted Mo Hongyun up. During this time, the Tower Master has given much assistance to Lu Qing, and in return, I am merely reciprocating. However, Tower Master, although the joyful heart-eroding curse has been lifted, Miao Yu will surely not let matters rest. Therefore, you must leave the Little Tsang realm as soon as possible so that he cannot find you. Given your deep causal entanglement with him, it would be best to carry a treasure capable of shielding against causal calculations, to prevent him from using divination techniques to locate you. Lu Qing slowly advised. Indeed, Hongyun, Miao Yu is a primordial spirit great power of 4 calamities. Even if he does not specialize in divination, his causal calculation techniques must be quite formidable. You must be cautious and guard against this. I have here a spiritual artifact called the Cause and Effect Pearl. You should refine it and wear it. As long as you wear it constantly, even with a vast world blocking, Supreme Miao Yu will be unable to calculate your whereabouts. Kanglan City Lord took out a thumb-sized chaotic color pearl from his storage bag and handed it to Mo Hongyun. Thank you, uncle. Mo Hongyun accepted the Cause and Effect Pearl without hesitation and began refining it. Indeed, she did not have any treasure specifically for karma shielding. Such treasures are always rare. Reaching the level of a spiritual artifact, they are even scarcer. Even in her own treasure tower, no such treasure existed. Lu Qing had gone through great effort to help her lift the curse seal. She couldn't let all that effort be wasted just because of her own hesitation. Before handing over the Cause and Effect Pearl, the Kanglan City Lord had already removed his heart and spirit from it. As such, Mo Hongyun easily imprinted her divine soul mark inside it, successfully refined the Cause and Effect Pearl, and wore it. Seeing this, the Kanglan City Lord smiled, finally setting his mind at ease. With this, Mo Hongyun was truly safe. Even Supreme Miao Yu would find it difficult to locate her whereabouts. Tower Master. Given Supreme Miao Yu's domineering nature, he's bound not to swallow his anger. He may very well descend in person. So, it's better if you leave early. Staying in the Little Tsong realm is no longer suitable, Lu Qing advised. Don't worry, Mr. Lu. Before coming over, I've already dissolved the treasure tower. The treasures and spirit stones were distributed among the old members of the tower, so I can leave any time. However, Mo Hongyun, with a radiant smile, revealed something that surprised Lu Qing greatly. Tower Master, you've dissolved the treasure tower? Lu Qing asked in astonishment. Indeed. So there's no need to call me Tower Master anymore. Just call me Hongyun. Mo Hongyun smiled. Lu Qing sighed in admiration. She was truly a woman of incredible strength, having created such a large merchant guild like the Treasure Tower single-handedly. A presence not common in ordinary people. Hongyun, where do you plan to go in the coming days? At this point, the Kanglan City Lord spoke. Actually, the safest place should be with our Nangong family. No matter how powerful Supreme Miao Yu is, he wouldn't dare to make trouble with our Nangong family. If you stay with the Nangong family, the Kanglan City Lord tried to persuade Mo Hongyun, but upon seeing her cold gaze, his voice gradually lowered, not daring to continue. Only after her uncle sensibly closed his mouth did Mo Hongyun retract her gaze. She sighed. Wherever I go, it doesn't matter. As it stands, I have nothing holding me back. Perhaps leaving the Little Tsong realm is for the better. All these years, because of the joyful heart-eroding curse, I've been unwilling to cultivate, thinking that even if my cultivation leveled up, it would still be used for someone else's benefit. But now I want to venture outside and cultivate properly. In the future, should I be fortunate enough to step into the primordial spirit realm and completely control my Shenin Jade body, perhaps no one will be able to manipulate my fate anymore. Observing the expression on Mo Hongyun's face, Lu Qing thought for a moment. Then he took out a jade talisman from his Chenkuan Chi bag. Tower Master, this talisman is for you. After refining it, store it within your golden core in the Dantian. It should help change your aura, making it difficult for others to detect the mysteries of your Shenin Jade body. This talisman can conceal and alter the aura of my Shenin Jade body? Mo Hongyun looked at the jade talisman in Lu Qing's hand in astonishment. Indeed, once refined, unless divine soul power is used to probe carefully, even someone in the primordial spirit realm would find it hard to detect the peculiarities of your physique. Lu Qing nodded. The jade talisman he provided was devised based on his perfect golden core's formless and shapeless transformation ability. Leveraging his expertise in the rune path, he deduced this transformation talisman. Little Li and the 5 elements weren't discerned even under the eyes of a primordial spirit great power. They relied on the transformation talisman Lu Qing personally applied over their demon cores for concealment. To think there's such a miraculous talisman. Mr. Lu's mastery in the rune path is truly astounding. Mo Hongyun was overjoyed. She received the jade talisman and began refining it immediately. Then, she stored it within her Dantian. Following this, with a slight thought, her aura shifted. The cold and alluring aura she originally had instantly withdrew, becoming completely unremarkable. Even the Kanglan City Lord, from the primordial spirit realm, felt that Mo Hongyun's aura had drastically changed. Were it not for witnessing it firsthand, based solely on the aura perceived, he wouldn't dare confirm this was his niece. Good, very good. The Kanglan City Lord was overjoyed. With the cause and effect pearl and this talisman, Hongyun, you can now travel without worrying others will see through you. Mo Hongyun was deeply excited. For a long time, what troubled her most was her Shenin Jade body. Her innate furnace physique was exceedingly coveted by many. Even when venturing out, she remained vigilant, ensuring no one discovered her Shenin Jade body. But now, with the talisman Lu Qing offered, the likelihood of being discovered was greatly reduced. How could she not be thrilled? If she had such a talisman at that time, she might not have been uncovered by that old thing, Supreme Miao Yu. Once her excitement subsided, Mo Hongyun retrieved a storage bag from her person. In light of Mr. Lu's great benevolence, I'm at a loss to repay it. I hope you'll accept the storage bag, she said. Tower Master, this is... Lu Qing didn't immediately take the storage bag, instead looking at her. It only contains some spirit stones. I perceive Mr. Lu sees spirit stones as quite valuable. Throughout the years, the treasure tower may not have amassed much else, but it has plenty of spirit stones. Please take it, Mr. Lu. Otherwise, having received such a great favor from you without any recompense, it would weigh heavily on my heart. Seeing the earnestness on Mo Hongyun's face, Lu Qing paused, then suddenly chuckled and accepted the storage bag. In that case, I won't be too polite. Once Lu Qing collected the storage bag, Mo Hongyun finally smiled. The following moments were simpler. Lu Qing took the 108 top-grade golden core level talismans from the ground and put them away. Then he erased the marks of the array from the ground. The large formation he had laid this time was a temporary deduction. Yet its effect was exceptionally good. Even a sliver of the divine mind from a four-tribulation primordial spirit great power could be trapped and subdued, completely refined. This was a significant breakthrough in his rune array path. The formation might serve a great purpose in the future. Thus, he couldn't let others easily discover the secrets of the formation. Mr. Lu, your accomplishments in the array path are indeed awe-inspiring. As the tales say, truly powerful array masters have the abilities to move mountains and drain seas, and fight across realms. Given enough time to lay down formations, they can unleash great powers. Today, I've witnessed the truth of this. The Kanglan City Lord couldn't help but marvel as he watched Lu Qing erase the formation marks from the ground. Recalling the scenes he had witnessed, he remembered the sight of Lu Qing crushing Gong Shuyu before. He increasingly felt that Lu Qing was unfathomably mysterious and powerful. He even suspected now that if given enough time to set up an array, even if his injuries were fully healed, he might not easily subdue Lu Qing. City Lord, you're too kind. This time, it was my planning combined with Supreme Miao Yu's overconfidence. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so easy to trap and refine him. Lu Qing modestly shook his head. Nonetheless, Mr. Lu, using a golden core body, to have refined and obliterated a four-tribulation primordial spirit great power's divine presence. If word of this gets out, it would cause an immediate sensation even in the upper realm. Lu Qing was casually chatting with the Kanglan City Lord and Mo Hongyun. He could feel that the Kanglan City Lord's appearance was improving steadily. This indicated that his condition was recovering rapidly. It's estimated that he might recover over half by dawn. This made him quite delighted. This was indeed good news. The quicker the Kanglan City Lord's injuries heal, the sooner he can enter the heavenly origin great world. While Lu Qing awaited the recovery of the Kanglan City Lord's injuries, in the vast heavenly origin great world, within a certain luxurious cave mansion of the Joyful Union sect, a vague aura, clothed in a pink magic robe, slowly awakened from cultivation. The joyful heart-eroding curse I placed on Mo Hongyun has been lifted. Even the strand of my consciousness within it was extinguished. Who is so bold to dare oppose me? Miao Yu had a look of confusion in his eyes. Someone could sever his connection with his consciousness and help Mo Hongyun remove the curse seal without alarming him. Their realm surely must be high. At least, it must be the same level as his primordial spirit great power to possibly achieve it. Was it the ancestor of the Mo family who made a move? No, he doesn't have this ability. Moreover, the Mo family wouldn't dare to offend my Joyful Union sect. So which unenlightened fellow took action? They first severed my connection with my consciousness before removing the curse. Obviously, they fear me and don't want me to know their identity. Could it be some loose cultivator primordial spirit great power? Miao Yu was momentarily puzzled, then immediately summoned a pink bead string, suspending it in front of him. He then cast several spells, causing the pink bead string to spin. However, the bead string spun for a while but revealed nothing. Miao Yu frowned. The secrets have been shielded. Even the karma of Mo Hongyun has been concealed. The person who acted really thought it out meticulously. But do they think they can escape from my grasp this way? Miao Yu's face slowly became cold and stern. No matter who you are, if you dare to touch someone I've set my eyes upon, then prepare to pay the price. Miao Yu stood up, waved his hand to open the door of the quiet room of seclusion, and walked out. Husband, you've completed your seclusion? Husband is out. Greetings, husband. As soon as he walked outside, he saw a group of women rush toward him. 7 or 8 peerlessly beautiful women surrounded Miao Yu with greetings, offering various attentions. Enough. I'm going out for a while. Hong Luan, accompany me. Miao Yu remained unmoved by the flattery of his concubines, merely speaking plainly. Yes. A radiant woman dressed in a deep red gown replied gracefully. The other women witnessed this, their eyes showing signs of jealousy. However, despite their envy, they dared not speak out. Not only did their husband dislike petty actions, but Hong Luan was the only one among them who had reached the primordial spirit realm. And not just any primordial spirit realm, but a tribulation primordial spirit. Therefore, she was not only most favored by their husband but also not someone they could provoke. After leaving the cave mansion, Miao Yu summoned a pink cloud treasure, taking Hong Luan with him as they stepped onto it. The next moment, the cloud broke through layers of space, speeding towards a particular direction. Husband, where are we headed? Hong Luan was secretly astonished to see Miao Yu summon the cloud treasure. This cloud treasure was a high-grade spirit artifact, not something their husband would easily utilize. This time he's using this treasure and driving it at full speed on an outing. Could it be that something very urgent has occurred? To the Little Tsong realm, the joyful heart-eroding curse I placed on Mo Hongyun was lifted. Miao Yu did not hide it, speaking directly. These concubines of his, under the influence of his Miao Yu technique, were utterly devoted to him, impossible to betray him. Mo Hongyun is that future sister of ours, who dares touch the woman our husband has laid eyes upon? Hong Luan was extremely shocked. At the same time, she felt a hidden excitement inside. She certainly understood her husband's character well. He valued his women enormously. They were his reverse scales. Now someone dared to be so bold, touching the woman whom her husband favored. No wonder her husband even summoned the cloud treasure. This time, it seems there will be a good show to watch. Miao Yu naturally sensed Hong Luan's emotions, but at the moment he paid no attention. Mo Hongyun possessed the Shenin Jade body and awakened the Mo family's bloodline life prediction divine power. These two things were very important to him. They could likely assist him greatly in breaking through the long-standing bottleneck and stepping into a higher realm. Therefore, Mo Hongyun absolutely must not fail. He wanted to see who dared to disrupt his path. At this moment, Miao Yu also felt some regret for not keeping Mo Hongyun in the Little Tsong realm. But he was confident in his joyful heart-eroding curse. Even a primordial spirit great power of the same realm would find it difficult to dispel it without alerting him. Mo Hongyun was entirely under his control, so he agreed to give her 50 years of freedom. Unexpectedly, something actually went wrong. Thinking of Mo Hongyun's curse mark being lifted, and she seemed to have an exotic treasure that shielded karma's secrets. Most likely, she would take this chance to escape the Little Tsong realm, causing Miao Yu's heart to become restless. He hastened the speed of the cloud treasure, making it even quicker. Unfortunately, the Joyful Union sect doesn't have a teleportation array directly leading to the Little Tsong realm. The nearest array is in a quite remote small town far away from the Joyful Union sect. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so passive. While Miao Yu Supreme was on her journey, in another direction, several figures were also traveling unhurriedly. Young Master Tian, weren't we going to the Scarlet Flame secret realm? Why the sudden change of plan? One of the strong men asked the red-haired youth leading the group. I just received a transmission message from the clan, the red-haired youth said leisurely. Oh, what did the clan say? The strong man asked curiously. Gong Shu Yu is dead. What? Young Master Yu is dead. The strong man was greatly shocked. Even the others showed expressions of surprise. Young Master Tian, how did young Master Yu die? Is the news accurate? The strong man asked urgently. The news is, of course, true. Gongshu Yu's soul lamp in the clan has already extinguished. How could it be false? The red-haired youth said flatly. The strong man and others fell silent. They were naturally aware of the relationship between the soul lamp and its owner. Since the soul lamp had gone out, it was likely that Gongshu Yu had indeed perished. But why would this happen? Wasn't there Uncle Kai and an old primordial spirit realm servant closely accompanying young Master Yu? Plus, he had the guardian jade talisman bestowed by the clan. How did he suddenly die? After a moment of silence, the strong man couldn't help but ask. As the direct lineage Taoist of the clan, Gongshu Yu had many life-saving treasures granted by the clan. Even a protector at the primordial spirit realm was following him. They were really finding it hard to imagine how Gongshu Yu had perished. Could it be they provoked an exceptional great power beyond the fourth tribulation of the primordial spirit? The message from the clan didn't elaborate. The red-haired youth shook his head. It only mentioned that this matter was related to people from the Nangong family. Gongshu Yu died in the Little Tsang realm, and not just him, we also lost contact with Uncle Kai and the others. So I'm not yet fully aware of what specifically occurred. He actually died in the Little Tsang realm, and was it the Nangong family who did it? The group, upon hearing this, was both surprised and shocked. The Gongshu family had never been on good terms with the Nangong family. But to slay the opponent's direct lineage Taoist like this was unprecedented. Could it be the Nangong family is declaring war on the Gongshu family? For a moment, everyone's hearts were somewhat shaken. If the two great families began to clash, the entire heavenly origin great world might be upheaved. Moreover, the strong man came to a realization. No, the Little Tsang realm. Young Master Tian, are you intending to go to the Little Tsang realm now? That's right, Gongshu Yu actually died in the Little Tsang realm. Though he was not promising, the Emperor Heart technique was only half learned by him. But he still had some strength and was considered my rival. Now that he has died, I'm quite interested to see who helped me with this big favor. The red-haired youth said with keen interest. Absolutely not, young Master Tian, that's too dangerous. The strong man quickly said. Even young Master Yu has died. Clearly, there is someone in the Little Tsang realm with deep hostility towards our Gongshu family. And it might be a powerful primordial spirit realm cultivator with very profound cultivation. If you go rashly and get targeted, we might not be able to ensure your safety, my young master. Don't worry. I'm not foolish, aware of the danger and yet putting myself at risk. The red-haired youth laughed. The clan's message said, Fourth Uncle Ancestor is already on his way to the Little Tsang realm. I will wait until Fourth Uncle Ancestor arrives. Then go down to the Little Tsang realm with him. Fourth Ancestor is personally going? The strong man and others were taken aback once more when they heard this. Yes, so you don't have to worry. With Fourth Uncle Ancestor there, who else can threaten my safety? The strong man and others looked at each other, finally nodding in unison. As long as you're with Fourth Ancestor, there should be no problem naturally. Fellow Taoist Lu Xiao, my injuries have mostly healed. I can activate the transmission array now. The next day, just as the sky was beginning to lighten, Lu Qing, who was sitting cross-legged, quietly cultivating, then heard the Kanglan City Lord sitting beside him, suddenly say, So soon? Lu Qing opened his eyes, somewhat surprised. He had expected to wait several more hours. Time is pressing. The Nangong family are fine, but that Miao Yu Supreme, known for her extreme cruelty, might arrive at any moment, so we should depart early, the Kanglan City Lord said. Then I leave it to the City Lord. Upon hearing this, Lu Qing's heart grew tense as well. A four-tribulation primordial spirit great powers divine skills were beyond imagination. Even though he had life-saving methods, he didn't dare guarantee his escape would be unimpeded. So it's better to leave the Little Tsang realm as soon as possible. Hong Yun, you come along as well. Yes, uncle. Mo Hongyun did not refuse. If she wanted to leave the Little Tsong realm, she still needed her uncle's help. Otherwise, relying solely on herself, even if she used the transmission array to leave, she might not escape far before being caught up by Miaoyu Supreme. After all, across the vast starry sky, the speed at which a golden core travels is far inferior to that of a primordial spirit great power. The transmission array connected to the upper world that the Kanglan City Lord mentioned lay within a grand hall deep in the City Lord Mansion. Lu Qing followed the Kanglan City Lord into the grand hall, at first glance seeing the enormous jade platform in the center, engraved with mysterious runes. With his current familiarity with transmission arrays, he immediately recognized that the runes on the jade platform were transmission array runes. Fellow Taoist Lu Xiao, this transmission array is connected to a branch power of my Nangong family.